Like, are you guys in school, out of school, on the clock, work at home, unemployed? Like, I'm just curious. For everyone coming in here, you should just let me know like what you're up to right now on like a Tuesday afternoon, you know? But anyways, for everybody that is tuning into the phones, turning into the phone screen, tuning into the stream, welcome in, y'all. Make sure that we are double tapping away on that phone screen. Make sure that we're sharing out this live. So today we're gonna go ahead and start off our stream debating some Trump supporters, but I think I may end up switching up the topic, so I guess we will just have to see. But anyways, nonetheless, everybody tuning in, I did change the name on my account. I changed it from Dean with a smiley face to Dean Withers, like my full name. Look at that, you guys. Right, we're introducing some change. It's pretty neat, right? But hey, regardless, we are gonna go ahead and hop right into the debate. So everybody, do just give us a second. If you did vote for Trump, make sure to hop in the queue, ladies and gentlemen. We got our first guest loading in as we speak. What is going on? Did you vote for Trump?
Hell no, I just love you, bro.
Hey, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for the love. All right. So for the first 1.6 thousand of you guys hanging out with us in the stream here today, I would like to clarify, please only do join in on the queue. If you did vote for Trump, I want to be confident that everybody that I do click on is a Trump voter. But yeah, no. So I don't know how long we're going to be doing politic related debates. I think we'll end up switching it up about halfway through the stream today, but I guess we'll see. You know what I mean? I guess we'll see. So let's go and get our next guest of the day up in here, y'all. We're gonna go ahead and just see how they're doing. What is going on, Dark Saber? Did you vote for Trump?
Yes, sir.
You did. Awesome. And why is that?
I thought he was the better candidate.
Well, I mean, duh. All right, that's probably why you voted for him. But I'm
Right.
asking why you thought he was a better candidate.
Well, I actually have a thought for you because I wonder if you and I, even though we disagree and voted for different people, what if we have more in common than not?
Well, I mean, I feel like that'd be a fun little exercise. But at the end of the day, I am just kind of asking why you voted for Trump. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Um, I thought that his first term, I thought that there were some good stuff that happened. I know there's a couple. I know you'll ask what policies. I know he did a tax cut policy and a new jobs policy. I don't remember the name of it off the top of my head,
It's
but I
called
feel
the
like there were some.
TCJA. So you liked his Tax Cuts and Jobs Act. So the thing about that is it disproportionately favored rich people. It was just trickle down economics, although it didn't increase business investment on the macro scale at all, meaning that it failed the attempted purpose of trickle down economics. And he wants to reintroduce that for another 10 years, but he also wants to introduce tariffs that are going to hurt you because they cause inflation. I don't really see his economic policy as that good. In fact, I'd call it pretty bad.
So we were kind of just riding the coattails of Obama.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
So during the first 2 to 3 years of Trump, we saw the same macroeconomic trends continue that we saw at the end of Obama's term.
would you say though that sometimes there definitely is an ebb and flow where you do inherit some of the good and some of the bad from the previous president, and then you make some changes, and it's not necessarily always one president or the other.
Well,
Sometimes there's an ebb and flow
if you could
that
detail
you,
the changes that he made that were good, I mean, you definitely have an argument, but I just can't really think of them.
well, you're right. I mean, it's hard. And here's what I want to ask you about. Would
Well,
you
no, I want to.
agree?
You said that there was good things that happened under his first term. I just want to know what they were.
It seemed like, sorry, not felt. It seemed like our national security seemed better. It seemed like the economy seemed better. I had more money. It seemed like our
Yeah, but
border was more
just because
secure.
something will happen in the country doesn't mean that it's caused by the president.
Yeah,
So you have
no,
to
I agree
indicate
with
to
you.
me like the policy that Donald Trump implemented that was good, or the policy that Biden and Harris implemented that was bad.
It seemed like the tax cuts affected me, even though I'm not in the high tier of America.
What's your annual
I saw
income?
more money in my account. What's that?
What's your annual income?
Right around 100K,
You would have
a little bit
benefited
below.
more from Kamala Harris's proposed economic policy compared to Donald Trump's. Her economic policy was built for you and 100 million other workers in the low and middle class. Donald Trump's was built for the rich man.
Okay. Well, yeah, I mean, I'm just an ordinary American, and I had more money then than I did, I guess, over the last
That
four
doesn't give you
years.
a reason to vote for him, right? I mean, there's differences, right? And why you would have had more money then compared to now and over the last 4 years that wasn't caused by the Biden Harris administration, such as COVID and the inflation in which it onset.
Yeah. I feel like the world looks at him differently than Kamala. like from a world leader, the high, like the world, the good, bad, and ugly world leaders. They
They do.
just
They typically look at him worse.
either that or they're scared. I feel like they aren't scared of Kamala. I don't know. I can't describe it, but it definitely seems like they don't respect her in a I guess
Okay.
world power leader way.
Could you give me a clip of like you and world leaders laughing at Kamala Harris the same way we have clips of them laughing at Trump?
I mean, I've seen other like European news people laughing, but I mean,
News
I don't have
people,
a
I asked about world leaders.
well, it's I don't think world leaders post videos of them laughing at people very much. Like I
Donald
can't think
Trump
of
got laughed at by other world leaders at a UN Rights Council by like 50 of them. And then Putin doesn't think he's scary. Putin thinks that he's easy to manipulate. All right. And that's in leaked Kremlin documents, as well as it's just suggested by the fact that he's interfered with the last three elections to try to get Trump elected.
okay. Yeah, that could be true. It could be true. It's hard to know, but I guess if you were to put Trump or Kamala head to head to defend our country, it just seems like Trump has a stronger demeanor. I guess as like
Because
a
he's more
large level.
fucking psycho, right? But that doesn't mean that he's better to run the country, right? Because that negates the potentiality of long-term cooperative agreements. He's more just like a warmonger, right? Compared to Kamala Harris, who wants to work on productive long-term cooperations. But the warmonger approach that Donald Trump has is bad. Like, wouldn't you prefer the person that wants to first focus on long-term cooperative relations, right, through diplomacy instead of just like threatening to like flatten Iran?
Yeah, absolutely.
Alicia,
But
thank you for the $5 on PayPal. I
it's
appreciate you
hard.
for the love.
I agree with you 100%. It's just hard because you have to also consider world leaders, like our leaders, they all lie. So like diplomacy, yes, that's the best thing for the best outcomes,
And then
but you
that's all
have
we need to
to
know, right? Because that's what Kamala Harris is focused on. Donald Trump was focused on like killing people.
killing people.
Yeah, yeah. He wants to continue to fund Israel to quote unquote win the war and finish what they started with Palestine. Okay, right? Kamala Harris was calling for a ceasefire agreement. Ceasefire agreement means less innocent people die. He also told Israel to invade and flatten Iran.
I think war is one of the hardest things to try to sort out. That's for sure. So
But
there's
that's what Trump wanted. Kamala Harris didn't want any of that. She actually advised Israel not to invade and attack Iran and propagated ceasefire agreements to save more innocent people from dying.
what if they didn't stop attacking Israel? What should they do?
Okay, who was attacking Israel?
Well, who's the ceasefire between?
Hamas and the IDF. It's Hamas that has offered them 8 ceasefire agreements.
Okay, yeah. Well, if everybody would agree with that, that would be the best possible outcome. I just worry that
That's what Kamala Harris wanted. Donald Trump specifically told Netanyahu to refuse the ceasefire agreement and to continue killing Palestinians.
I wish that I wish that no one would die.
Right. So you agree more with Kamala Harris.
If what she proposed would have worked, absolutely. I'm not
Okay.
confident it could have worked. I don't know
So
that.
then
You
you
know what
think
I
that
mean?
she's a better leader than Trump?
No, I don't. I don't agree with that. But I don't think it would have worked personally. I wish it would. Maybe I think it was wishful thinking
Oh my God. Okay. Tell me why. Tell me why ceasefire agreements are bad.
because people don't agree to them, and people don't cease firing. They sign it just as oh, we signed this, but it's not really something they honor. Does that make sense?
Dude, what like background do you have in foreign affairs?
Same as yours.
No, dude, it's like you're just sitting up here making bullshit claims, right? Holding to bullshit conclusions. Like you're sitting here, you didn't even know what Hamas was. You don't know anything about the historicity of Israel and Palestine. You don't know anything about the ongoing conflicts and the war crimes that are being committed upon innocent Palestinians, right? But then you're just like, nah, I kind of like the guy that wants Israel to kill more innocent Palestinians because maybe a ceasefire agreement wouldn't have worked, even though I don't know jack shit. Like that's just loony, bro. Like I'm so sorry, man.
Well,
Dark. That just makes no sense. That makes no sense. You're like, I definitely like the guy that results to violence and war crimes and actually violates the Logan Act by telling Israel to continue to do those same violent acts and war crimes. Because Kamala Harris's ceasefire agreement that I know nothing about, that I've never read, that I know none of the historicity behind the geopolitical landscape in the Middle East is like astonishing.
well, I feel like you're gassing me a little bit, but I think you and I actually, I feel like even though we might end up on different sides of the quote unquote debate, I feel like you and I probably, and like most Americans right now, even though we're seeing the world really different, I feel like deep down we actually probably have more in common than not. And unfortunately, the government and the presidents, I feel like they're dividing you and me as fellow Americans.
Okay, let's see how much we have in common. Do you have a fundamental red line existing in your consciousness that would always make you vote for a non-grapist over a grapist? Do you fundamentally value the safety and anti-discriminatory movements against things such as misogyny, sexism, racism? Do you
Absolutely.
value at all like reducing the impact of prejudice, right? And want to fight against the
Yes.
emboldening of bigots in America today so less
Yes.
people are harmed?
Yes, you and I are the same.
Well, I mean, then you should have voted for Donald Trump. He was held civilly liable for the violent sexual abuse of a woman. He committed 34 felonies. I mean, he said the best thing that could happen to a woman is pregnancy and boasted about grabbing a woman by the P word, all right, after he hit on a 10-year-old girl, sexualizing her and boasting to Howard Stern about walking into the changing rooms of half-naked teenage girls, right? Emboldening that or putting him in the White House emboldens misogynists all around the world. And we're already seeing the consequence of that just much higher levels of hate crimes and bullying against oppressed and minority groups in America.
Okay. Well, yeah, that you just kind of gave me a lot to talk about. Could I ask you a question? Would you agree that the court system could be corrupt in some way, shape, or form? Could it be corrupt in some way, shape, or form?
Oh,
Just in general.
is it
Just in general.
possible
Like
that
you
a
and me
court
as
could
fellow
ever rule
Americans.
incorrectly? Yeah, it's possible that a court could rule incorrectly.
Okay, so you see, so again, you and I, fellow Americans, we both understand that one, the courts could be biased or politically charged. You and I would agree that the government could be biased or politically charged as fellow
Could
Americans.
9/11 be an inside job?
I, I'll be honest with you. I'm a very skeptical person. I don't know what to believe anymore. I really
Yeah,
don't.
but that's your issue, and that's like actively perpetuating harm. Like your
Well,
willful ignorance and your distaste towards fact and your proclivity towards conspiracy actively harms and marginalizes people in America today, right? You understand that there was a civil court that held Trump liable for violent sexual abuse or rape of a woman. I already know if I were to ask you for a piece of evidence that the court used to prove that Donald Trump had raped E. Jean Carroll, you wouldn't be able to name one. In fact, you probably didn't know her name before I just shared it with you, and you don't know
yeah,
any
no,
of the
I
facts of
did.
the
I
court
do.
case.
Yes, I
But
do. I
yet,
do know facts.
so what's one of the pieces of evidence submitted to the court to the jury that the jury then used to hold Trump liable for rape?
Her dress.
The dress was not submitted to the court. In fact, it was
Oh, the
denied
dress was
because
not some.
Donald
Okay.
Trump didn't submit his DNA to the court as well. Right? So your issue here is you don't know the evidence inside of the court documents, and you will just blindly hold and follow the idea that it was rigged against him. And,
Well,
and
why did
this
she wait
is
so long? Why did she wait so long then?
why does any
She came
woman
out
wait
while
so
he was
long? Because men
president. She
like you
came out while he was
exist.
president. No, me. Hey, well, don't lump me
Hey,
in.
I have a
Don't lump me
question.
into that. Don't
If the
please don't
if
lump
the
me into
average
that.
woman, no, you are lumped into that. If the average woman waits longer than E. Jean Carroll, would you still hold prejudice against E. Jean Carroll for waiting 23 years?
No, I don't hold any prejudice. And please don't lump. I'm not defending Trump as a. I
Would
don't
you
care
answer
for
my
Trump.
question? So if the
No.
average woman waited longer to come out about grape, would you still be asking that same question about E. Jean Carroll?
Um, I don't know. I don't know.
Use your
It was
brain,
just.
bro. So it's like
Yes. No, I wouldn't.
I'm telling you, if
Yes.
the average woman waited longer than 23 years to report grape, would you still question the validity of her claims on the basis that she waited 23 years? And your answer is, I don't know.
Well, of course not. It's just it's politically charged. That's what makes it. That's what makes it interesting. She wrote a book about it.
So first of all, the average woman, 64% of women never report it to the authorities in their lifetime, meaning that they do wait longer than E. Jean Carroll did. And then secondly, you call it politically motivated, right? Even if The only reason E. Jean Carroll decided to report that Trump had raped her and that that had happened in that changing room and to come out about her story was because he was the president of the United States of America, right? That is not a negative quality of hers. In fact, what I would say is that is a very positive thing that she did by advocating for better informed electorate to make sure that the people knew exactly who they were voting for, exactly who they were supporting, right? At the expense and cost of her being demonized by people like you, turned into a monolith of the left, have her truth denied, and absolutely dehumanized beyond a shadow of a doubt. And
I'm not
that's the
do-
issue. Like, do you
Yeah, and I'm
deny that she would be doing a good thing for the American people by informing them that their president is a rapist? By
no,
making sure that
absolutely
the
not.
electorate has access to information that they should when making the evaluation of who they want to cast their ballot for?
No, I think I would absolutely want to know that. I agree with you. I
So then,
agree with you
even if
100%.
she only came out about it because he was president and would more likely than not run again in the future, that doesn't give us any reason to doubt what she's saying is true.
That's a fair point. That's a fair point. I'll give you that. That's a fair point. Um, now the jury did say he was held liable, but not found not guilty. I know it was a civil case, so that means, she got money. Liable means it most likely might have happened.
So
So they did.
liable means it was proven
Mo
with a preponderance of evidence, which means it's beyond a threshold of 51% certain, right?
it
I'd argue,
most likely would have happened, but it's not for sure.
okay, no,
It's
you're
most
wrong.
likely. That's what liable means.
You're
Oh, I looked
wrong.
it up. I mean, I
You're
looked it
wrong.
up.
I'm trying to detail to you, right? So in order for something to be proved in a civil court of law, it has to be proven beyond a 51 percentile chance that it occurred. Okay? But the part that you're missing here is that it's beyond a 51 percentile chance, meaning that it could be 100% certain, it could be 99% certain, and it will still be beyond that threshold of 51%. And what we'd say about this court, right, is that the evidence used to prove to the jury that the event had occurred proved that it had occurred beyond a reasonable shadow of a doubt. But even if we were just operating off of a 51 percentile, well, that's a little bit too high of a percentile for me to be okay with when I'm evaluating if this person should be the president of our country. We should be incredibly precautious. Like if he was held civilly liable at that 51 percentile for raping a toddler, would you still have voted for him?
Hello, I don't want any
Christopher,
toddler to
thank you for
be
the $5
abused.
on
I don't
PayPal.
want any toddler to be hurt
Well, I,
in any
I,
way, shape, or
I
form.
didn't I didn't ask you if you wanted a toddler to be hurt. I asked you if you'd still vote for Trump even if he had been held civilly liable for raping a toddler.
No, I would not vote for anybody like that.
Okay. Would you ever vote for Trump if he had been held civilly liable for raping an adult woman?
I don't want to support. I don't want to support that. No.
No, so you wouldn't vote for Trump if he had been held civilly liable for raping an adult woman. You've
Well,
been defending voting for Trump even though he was held civilly liable for raping an adult woman for the last 10 minutes.
no, I'm not. I'm not defending it. I'm saying liable means it most likely might have happened. That's what civilly liable
You're
means.
so you're defending
So we
voting for
don't know
Trump
for
even though
sure.
he was held civilly liable though, right?
I'm just saying we don't know for sure.
Dark, stop being irrational. You're pissing me off. I asked you if you'd vote for someone that's been held civilly liable for raping an adult woman, and your answer was no. But now that I'm informing you that you voted for someone that
I
was
already
held
knew.
civilly liable for raping an adult woman, your answer is yes because. So those two answers are contradictory.
Well, what do you tell all the women who voted for Trump?
What do you tell me when you respond to my questions that you're now pivoting around because you don't have a response because I'm catching you in a clear as day contradiction? Like literally, stop talking, use your brain. Would you vote for someone held civilly liable for raping an adult woman, yes or no?
I obviously know Trump was convicted as civilly liable, so you're
The
trying to
answer
get
is
me hung up
yes.
on this.
The answer
You're
is
trying to.
yes. The answer is yes. So why would you vote for someone held civilly liable for raping an adult woman, but you wouldn't vote for someone that was held civilly liable for raping a toddler?
Well, he was found not guilty,
He
and
was found
it's civilly.
guilty.
He was found not guilty criminally.
He was
He
not
was
found not
civilly. He
guilty
was
criminally.
liable.
That's
He was
false.
liable. Found.
What
No, it's
criminal
not.
court tried Trump for rape?
No, he was found liable and found also not guilty.
Not guilty? Guilt is an admission of liability in a civil court. What are you saying?
I don't know.
If,
I'm
if
just
you're
saying
if you're held
that's the
liable,
result of the court.
What was he found not guilty for?
Any crimes?
Any crimes? So, in order to be found not guilty for a crime, you have to be tried in a criminal court. Donald
Yes, that's
Trump was
correct.
never tried in a criminal court for grape.
Yeah.
So then he
And he
couldn't
was
have
found
been found not
liable, which
guilty.
means it most likely would have happened, but we just don't know.
Dude,
I
Dark
hate
Saber.
to say that.
Dark
I hate to say
Saber.
that. We
Dark
don't know.
Saber, stop talking, shut up, and listen. In order to be found not guilty for a crime, you have to be tried in a criminal court.
Yes.
Do you affirm or reject this?
Yes. Yes.
You state that Donald Trump was found not guilty for grape, right?
What? Okay, I'll take that back.
Why did you say that? Because he's never been tried in a criminal court.
I thought I read that. I thought I read that somewhere.
He hasn't. Nowhere.
Why hasn't he been tried in criminal court?
Because the statute of limitations passed. Now answer my question. You said you'd vote for someone that was held civilly liable for adult grape, but not someone that was held civilly liable for child grape. Why do you hold a different standard?
I don't want to vote for any of those, but yes, I voted for Trump. So I see how you have me in a pickle.
Do you see how you won't answer my question?
No, yes, I'm answering it. I'm saying, yes, I agree with you. I don't want to vote for any of those things, and I'm in a pickle because I voted for Trump. I'm agreeing with you.
So you admit that you have no reason to hold a different standard insofar as your answer to those questions, right? So
My
you'd
only-
say that in order for you to be consistent, you shouldn't have voted for Trump due to the fact that he'd been held liable. Or
wish,
that you'd vote for someone that has been held liable of child grape.
I wish there was another candidate.
Okay, saying I wish there was another candidate doesn't respond and address me when I'm calling out your inconsistency, principally speaking, within your beliefs. Okay? That doesn't actually respond to me at all. Like, I just don't, I don't know how, like, how much, like, how hard this is for you, right? Once again, my statement was, I'm specifically asking you about one thing. You said that you have no good reason to hold a different standard between liability for child grape and liability for adult grape, but yet you do. So this means either one of two things. Either you'd have to concede that you shouldn't have voted for Trump because he was held liable, and you want to hold a consistent standard as you wouldn't vote for Trump, as you wouldn't vote for someone that was held liable for child grape, or that you'd vote for someone that has been held liable for child grape. Right? Those are the only two logically possible consequences so far.
Yes, I would propose a third,
Which is
that liable is not 100% beyond shadow of a doubt.
that's not a third option, dude. It's either that you would vote for someone or you wouldn't vote for someone because of these things. You could
Okay, I see what you're
use
saying. I see what you're saying.
liability
Yes,
doesn't
I see what you're
dictate
saying.
certainty, therefore you would
Yes.
vote for someone because of these things.
Yes,
But
sorry. Yes,
that's
you're
not
right.
like a third option at all. Like,
Yes,
like
you're right. I see what you're saying. I see what you're
that's-
saying.
Okay,
Yep.
good. So
I
then
see what you're
answer,
saying. Sorry.
and answer the
Yes.
question.
Yes, I don't want to vote for anyone who is found civilly liable, but I did vote for Trump, so there is an apparent inconsistency at the moment that I'd love to try to talk more about.
Okay. All right. Well, I hope that you figured that out on your own, man, and make a better decision moving forward. All right. So for the 3,000 people in here, we are going to go ahead and restart the stream. I'm a little bit low energy today, so I don't really know how long I'm going to be on. So yeah, if you're curious on where I'm at, why I'm so low energy, I woke up this morning at like 7 a.m. after going to bed at like 1, so I had like a little bit over 5 hours of sleep. And there was snow outside. And I was at my girlfriend's house. And I had to get my car home. But my car doesn't have snow tires on it. In fact, it's back wheel drive with very poor summer tires that I need to replace that cannot drive on the snow. So I spent like 40 minutes right after I woke up getting a shovel and shoveling the entire driveway behind the car just so I could get it out. And then even had to shovel up the road a little bit so it would just drive home. And that's how my morning was. And now I'm just utterly exhausted. Yeah, I don't know how long we'll be on. We're gonna go ahead and do a restart. We're gonna go ahead and switch to another topic. It looks like the shadow ban's pretty bad today. under 3,000 people in here. A little nap might be nice as well. Like honestly, I could probably like hit a little nap and come on later. I don't know, but we're gonna try the restart with another topic. I'll be right back. Servers, but they're all fixed now. For everybody tuning into the live stream, it's super good to see you all. We had some issues with the TikTok servers. It looks like a lot of people couldn't tune into the lives. Hopefully it's all going to be fixed now. So you guys, please do double tap away on that phone screen. Do share out this live with a handful of friends. Hopefully we are going to get past TikTok and its massive issues right now. It looks like it is working. So it is phenomenal to see you all. It looks like TikTok just had some issues with their servers. So without sparing a moment ado, because we've spent too many moments just trying to figure out what the hell is wrong with TikTok, here's the deal. We are going to go ahead and have some debates. Today's topic is the same one that we've been running for the last handful of days. I've been really enjoying these conversations. It seems like you guys have too, so we're going to go ahead and continue them for another day. The question at hand is, why are men better at leading than women? So let's go over the ground rules of the live before we hop into the debates. If you think that men are better at leading than women, there's one place and one place for you to be. That would be the guest requests. I want everybody watching this live stream that thinks men are better at leading than women to hop into the guest requests. If you do not think that men are better at leading than women, if you are a regular person just like me, just like all the people in the chat, please do not join the guest requests. Hang out in the chat, hang out in the Discord. Do not hang out in the guest requests. I want to have certainty that whoever I click on in the queue is automatically going to be a misogynist, just like OBS Daddy. So I'm clicking on OBS Daddy. I just want to know by reading their name that they're going to be a flaming misogynist that thinks men are better at leading than women. Let's see if they followed the rules. Hello. Do you think that men are better at leading than women?
No, not really. I
And
think
see-
it goes 50-50.
You broke the rules, man. Why did you break the rules?
But see, I still have the other 50% that leans on yes. I didn't necessarily break your rules. I'm just bending them a little, partner. That's it.
Okay, so you're agnostic on misogyny? Okay, well, you shouldn't be agnostic on misogyny because there's no evidence, reason, or explanatory power to prove the hypothesis that men are better at leading than women to be true. Just because you're agnostic, I'm going to go ahead and move on because you can't really make an argument out of agnosticism. But what I will say is you should just watch the stream, please. What's up, Tom? Do you think that men are better at leading than women?
I think if we get more,
How old are you?
I'm 23.
23. No. What year were you born in?
27 September 2001.
Chad, do we trust him? Do we trust him, Chad? Do we trust him? 1 second. We'll leave it up to the chat. Let's get a yes for yes, a no for no. A yes for debate, a no for fetus. For fetus. Nope. Okay. The mob mentality has made its decisions. This live is a democracy. You are gone, my fair pal. We are going to go to move on to our next guest. It's Maga James. We have a bunch of new people in the stream. Let's go over the ground rules again. Only join the queue if you're at least 18, not driving, and you think men are better at leading than women. Mr.
Yep.
Maga James, I don't even need to ask you. That's a yes from you for the question.
Absolutely.
Right? Absolutely it is. I mean, duh, right? So let me
Yeah,
ask
I mean,
you a
how many
question.
great female leaders have there been? How many female presidents have we had? Yeah.
Sure. Okay. So your argument that men are better at leading than women. First, let's call women women, not females. So your argument that men are better at leading than women, or is that we have a lack of women presidents. So let me ask you a question. If
No,
someone
because
tried
it's
to make,
been like that all throughout human history. That's why men lead, because
Okay.
men are better leaders.
I hear you. So what are the biological differences between men and women that make men better at leading?
Men have greater muscular strength. Men have greater resilience. Men are stronger when it comes to mental strength. And throughout human history, when there's conflict, you don't call a woman, you call a man. If your
Well, it's
house
not a
is being
biological
broken
distinction.
into-
You're getting off of
That is a
biological
biological
differences.
distinction.
No. Who you call if your house burns down does
Is
not
this from
have
the
to do
same
with
party that
anatomy.
can't define gender? Is this where this is coming from?
Oh my god, dude, you're going crazy. I need you to stay on one topic at a time. The question being asked is why are men better at leading than women? I asked you for the biological distinctions between men and women that make men better at leading, and you said physical strength. Name one structure of leadership anywhere in the world today that is purely determined on the basis of physical strength.
It's physical strength and it's mental strength, right?
Okay.
That's what it is.
So we'll
when you
break
say-
them
when
both
you say-
down. We're going to break them both down. So let's separate them into two categories. We're first going to attack the reason that you gave me first, that being that men are better at leading than women because they have bigger biceps on average. Okay.
No,
Name
not because they have
one
bigger biceps.
name one structure of leadership anywhere in the world today that is purely determined on the basis of physical strength.
Do you want a strong or weak leader?
I want a strong leader, but that doesn't have to do with how much you could lift. That
No.
more so has to do with other various factors. You're not answering my question. Answer my question or get kicked.
I'm not. Oh, what's the specific question?
Yeah, I'll ask it for a third time. Name one hierarchical structure of leadership in any institution, anywhere in the world, that is purely determined on the basis of physical strength.
Well, there is none based on physical strength, but it's something
So
people
physical
look at.
strength is not indicative of being better at leading. Now on to your second point.
It's something people look at. I mean, they consider it.
Who would you vote for? Donald Trump or a 15-year-old jacked out on steroids that can bench 3 plates?
Donald Trump.
So it's not something you look at.
It's something. Well, it's something I consider. I mean, if the end of the day, it's not all physical strength. It's what this person can do. It's not that a woman can't be a great leader. I just think it's way harder for them to be based on certain just biological and mental factors and life experiences.
Well, man, I mean, I'm still attacking the first reason you gave me, okay? Right? Because I think, yo, V, thank you for the motorcycle. I appreciate you for the love. Everybody, please show V some love down below in the comment section. I really appreciate you for the love, V. Show V some massive love. We've just been attacking your first reason about physical strength. I mean, I think that even you agree here that physical strength is not indicative of being better at leading. Not only could you fail to name one structure or hierarchy of leadership anywhere in the world that's predicated on physical strength, but you would also vote for the physically weaker candidate if that candidate were to be Trump compared to a 15-year-old that can bench 3 plates. Okay? Now, secondly, you also mentioned mental strength. When you're making a consideration of mental strength, are you considering things like ability to deal with stress, ability to drive your decision-making processes with logic instead of emotion?
I think stress, yeah, a lot of stress tolerance. That's a big thing with leaders. It's just I'm not saying there can't be a great female leader, but I'm just saying I haven't seen one.
Okay, we should once again call women women, not females. Now, okay, we're gonna
Okay,
go
I
ahead
haven't seen a
and we're gonna
great
go ahead and
women
press on
leader.
that. So you're saying that men have greater ability to deal with and manage stress than women do. So you're wrong, and biologically so. Evolution has driven women to have better stress management for the purpose of childbirth, right? And this is present due to the fact that they have thicker dendrites in the context of their spine, which allow them to deal with stress better. And there is a multiplicity of studies that demonstrate this to be the case. If you like one, feel free to ask. But the fact of the matter is, women are biologically predisposed to deal with stress better than men are. And if
Okay,
that makes
childbirth,
women
yeah.
mentally stronger than men in accordance with the standard that you gave me, and mental
you could
strength
say
is your
that.
standard for better leadership, will you now say that women are better at leading than men?
I
Anna,
wouldn't,
thank you for the
because I haven't
$5 on
seen a
PayPal.
great female leader. I'm not saying they don't exist. They could. I mean, very well, the next 20 years, we could see a great female leader who'd be a great president, but I just don't see one as of right now.
So now you're pivoting between your arguments. So
I
first
say
you were
my-
making one.
my
James, stop
fundamental
talking.
argument-
Show me
Can I
your
speak?
impulse control. No, you can't because I was speaking.
Oh.
These are the basics. These are the basics of conversation that your mother tried to give you, but you never listened to because you thought you were better than her because of your penis. But don't worry, I will teach them to you too. What I'm going to need you to do is when I'm speaking, you're listening, and when you're speaking, I'm listening. Okay, anyways. So you were giving me an argument that men were better at leading than women for 2 reasons. They're physically stronger on average, and they have a greater mental ability to deal with and manage stress. For the first reason about physical strength, we've demonstrated that is not a relevant consideration when you're determining who is better or worse at leading. And for the second reason, we've determined that it is actually women who have an advantage over men in the context of stress management.
That's not true. That's not true at all.
It is?
You know, I mean, we could go through these studies
Randy,
here.
thank you for
Studies are
$5 on
manipulated
PayPal.
all the time. Studies are manipulated all the time. I could manipulate a study.
Okay, so what is your evidence that men are better at dealing with stress than women?
My evidence is life experience and what I have seen. Okay, when
what
I
shows
look
us
at
more?
world leaders, men are better world leaders. I'm not saying there can't be a great female leader.
One second. I don't care about the tagline that you keep on repeating. I care about your evidence that men have a higher ability to deal with and manage stress than women. So my
World
evidence
history.
is, one moment, my evidence is going to be a consensus amongst neuroscientists that has existed for the last 70 years. And your evidence is quote unquote life experiences, which in all reality just means
World
your
history, not my experience.
bias-driven emotions. So what about world history
Well, yeah,
would indicate to
bias-driven
us?
emotions, absolutely. Yes.
Okay, so my
100%.
evidence is fact, reason, and logic. Your evidence is bias-driven emotions. Who should we trust more?
And my fact, reason, and logic is what the world sees. If there's a great female leader, they will emerge. I haven't seen one. Is
Okay.
that too complicated? I mean,
So now your
if they're
argument.
out there, they're out there. I haven't seen them.
So now your argument has completely pivoted away from biological predispositions, right, and is pivoted into the lack of women representation within leadership positions as a whole. We could touch on that too. Hannah, thank you for the $5 on PayPal. So here's the issue with this argument. The same rhetoric could be taken and applied in the dynamic of race. In the same way we see a disproportionate amount of men that are in leadership positions, we see a disproportionate amount of white people that are in leadership positions.
In
the same
America,
way
yeah.
that you could rhetoric your way to the conclusion, if there was a good woman leader, then we would see more women in leadership positions. A white supremacist can do the same thing in between the dynamic of white people and black people. So, due to the fact that your logic would also apply to the dynamic of race and the relationship between white people and black people in positions of leadership, would you say that white people are better at leading than black people?
I don't. Well, race doesn't exist. Race is a social construct. That's not a thing, right?
So the answer is
Gender
no.
is real. Gender is real. Two sexes are real. Man, female, those are real things. Race
So-
is, there's no difference in race. Race is a social construct.
So the answer is no. You don't think that white people are better at leading than black people, right?
But
Even
race
though it is true.
There
Well,
is no such thing as that. It's just people.
I will respond to everything that you're saying if you could let me speak. You have a problem with your impulse control. Thank
Yeah,
you.
maybe I shouldn't be a leader.
You shouldn't be a leader. Indeed. All right. Now moving on to what I was going to say. So you recognize that your logic fails in the dynamic of race. You believe that white
But race
people are
isn't a
not-
thing. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, one more strike. Why do I need a toddler? You,
I'm sorry.
as you should be. Okay, good boy. Wait your turn to speak. One more strike before I'm just going to move on. Thank you. So, you have admitted that your logic does not hold to be the case in the dynamic of race, and you do not believe that white people are better at leading than black people, even though it is the case that we have an overrepresentation of white people within leadership positions. Liv, thank you for the subscription. What this tells us is that no, you cannot use this baseline principle of there is an overrepresentation of this class of people within leadership positions, therefore they are better at leading than those in which are underrepresented. And this would also apply to the dynamic of men and women, meaning that your argument falls flat on its face and it's disposed of by yourself with your contradictory answer with your same logic in the dynamic of race.
So, as I clarified, race is a social construct. There is no difference biologically between people who are white or black or any other racial makeup out there. It's just all humans. However, gender, there is a difference. There is a
Thank you for the $5
fundamental
on PayPal.
difference between a man and a woman, right? And when men are leading, I'm not saying that there can't be a great woman leader. I'm just saying because of what we see, what the world is, we haven't seen that many great female leaders out there. Could they exist? Yeah. But I think generally speaking, men are better leading than women because throughout society, men have always led society.
Okay, so you already contradicted yourself because at first, right, you seemed to understand my position. You understood that an overrepresentation of a class of people in leadership doesn't necessitate that they're better at leading, right? And then you explained that there's biological distinctions between men and women that make men better at leading. But then you pivoted right back to the first claim that because there's an overrepresentation of men in positions of leadership, that makes them better at leading. So even within your own statement, you contradicted yourself. I'll just ask you a simple question. Are men better at leading because there's an overrepresentation of them in leadership positions? Or are men better at leading than women because there's biological differences between men and women that make them better at leading?
I think a little of both. If I'm being honest.
Okay, well, that's illogical. And the reason it can't
I
be a
don't think that's
literal-
illogical, right? People
It is.
vote for who they feel comfortable with having in office.
It is. The reason this is illogical is because you can't posit the idea that, well, it's a little true that men are better at leading than women because they're overrepresented within leadership positions. What would you say if a white supremacist said it's a little true that white people are better at leading than black people because there's an overrepresentation of them in leadership positions? And Chicken, thank you for the galaxy. Right? You'd
Because
say
there's-
they're false. Race is a social construct.
Which it
there's
is.
no
You agree, don't you?
biological distinctions. Yes, there's no biological distinctions between white people and black people that would make white people better at leading, right? But this is exactly what I would say between men and women. There's no relevant biological distinctions between men and women that make men better at leading than women. I've given you a fair opportunity to point out these relevant biological distinctions, and you haven't told me. In fact, you gave me two: physical strength and mental acuity / stress management. And I've demonstrated to you how physical strength is not a relevant indicator of being better at leadership, and women are actually better at stress management than men.
I just haven't seen that in my personal life. I guess we'll disagree on that, but yeah, I mean, there
So what
could
is
be a
your
great
reasons for
female
disagreeing
leader.
with that?
There could be a great female leader out there. I just haven't seen them. They could
Okay,
exist.
thank you for the galaxy. So you're no longer attempting to give me an argument. I've laid out every position that you've given to me, and I've explained to you why you're wrong. You were not trying to counter my reasons. You were not trying to posit
I'm
a new
I'm
reason.
countering the reason.
You were just
because
repeating your
of society.
reasons.
Well, I'm countering the reason because of how society has been. When they elected a leader back in the tribal times, they'd go for the person who was the strongest, the most skilled, the most talented. That would be the one who would lead. You would have the most talented, big, skilled, smart person lead. It's the same thing with elected office today. People vote for who they think is the biggest, the best, the smartest, the brightest out of the options they have, and that's who they vote for on a candidate. And since we have always had society, men have always been the ones that have been elected in society. Does that mean that there can't be a great woman leader? No, of course there could be.
So now you're
haven't
just
seen one
repeating the
yet.
same reason that I already disputed. We're now going over this for the fourth time, right? My rule that I uphold on these streams is if we go over it a fifth time, I give the chat the option to kick you, okay? Because it's the circles that end up boring people and making them really annoyed. So I'll go ahead and say two things. You're once again just repeating the same reason that there's a disproportionate amount of men in leadership positions, therefore
Can
they're
men
better
get
leading.
pregnant?
One moment. Don't talk while I'm speaking. You're saying that there's an overrepresentation of men in positions of leadership, meaning that they're better at leading. And because this has been historically true, this is why men are better at leading than women. We've already countered this logic. We've already related it to a dynamic of race and how there's been an overrepresentation of white people in leadership positions. And you don't think that white people are better at leading than black people, even though this has been true historically, right? And then your response to that, there's no differences between white and black people that make them better at leading. And then I counter that by saying, yes, that's true. That's why white people are better at leading than black people. Very similarly, there's no biological distinctions between men and women that make men better at leading. And so far, you've been able to name one, physical strength, and I've demonstrated to you how that is not relevant insofar as determining who is better at leading. If you don't offer a new rebuttal to these positions, and you instead just decide to ignore them and repeat your original
I will.
plan,
I'll offer a
I'm
rebuttal.
just gonna move on.
Do you think men can get pregnant? That's just what do you
Okay.
think about that?
Sure. Yes, I do think that trans men can get pregnant, right? But that's not the topic that we're discussing today. I view this as a pivot because you cannot adequately address my counter arguments against your reasons insofar as why you do think men are better at leading than women. So do you want to embarrass yourself with a pivot, or do you want to address my counter positions?
I've addressed your counter positions. You say
not.
that women, because there's certain something in their back that are more resilient, right? We could talk about that. At the end of the day, everyone wants to kick me out. I guess I'm done, probably. I got like 2 seconds left, but
I'm giving
it's
you
an interesting
adequate
conversation. I'll leave
I'm
it
giving
with
you
this.
an I'm giving you
I'll
an
leave it with
adequate
this, then
I'm
I'll
giving
leave. I'll leave
I'm
it
gi-
with this, then I'll leave.
No, I'm giving
There
you an
can be a
adequate
great female
no,
leader
I'm
if they're
giving
out
you
there.
I'm giving you an adequate and fair chance to respond to the new positions. What you're about to say is there can be a great female leader if they're out there. I just haven't seen them yet. The reason I know that you're going to say that is because you've already said it 4 times. And if that was the last thing that you're going to say before you leave and you're just giving up, I'll just go ahead and move on to our next guest. So everybody, do just give us a minute to get our next guest up in the box. If you do want to support me, my Venmo as well as my PayPal are in my bio. Speaking of, Hannah, thank you for the $4 on PayPal saying to kick the mouth breather. I do appreciate you for the love, Hannah. We are going to go ahead and move on to our next guest right now, ladies and gentlemen. So everybody, do just give us a minute. For everybody new in this stream, make sure to hit that follow button. It helps us boost this live out onto the For You page. Same thing with sharing the live. Same things with double tapping, y'all. So just make sure that we're engaging with the live so we could break through the shadow ban. What is going on, Sebastian? Do you think that men are better at leading than women? All right, we're going to go ahead and go over the ground rules of the live while we're getting our next guest up in here to debate. Please, if you are in the queue, make sure that you do definitely think that men are better at leading than women. I want to be sure that whoever I click on in the guest request, that you will think that men are better at leading than women. I want to make sure that we're going for the debates. If you're a supporter of mine and you do not think that men are better at leading than women, please, 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 please do not join the queue. Hang out in the chat, hang out in the Discord, but do not hang out in the guest requests. What's up, Breck? Do you think that men are better at leading than women? All right, Breck's not here. Yeah, I guess another rule would be if you're in the queue, just make sure to say attentive. I'm fine. Thank you for the subscription. Just so you know, if you end up getting invited up on the stream from the queue, so you're like here to debate. What's up, Bruce? Do you think that men are better at leading than women?
In my experience, I think men are better leading women, just based on my experience. Just because get put more into more leadership positions than women.
When you say your experience, are you just speaking about the men that you've known that have been in positions of leadership and the women that you've known that have been in positions of leadership in your own life?
Correct. Yes.
Okay, yeah, the reason this is an unreliable standard to determine who is better at leading generally is because I could have the opposite experiences within my own anecdotal life that would lead me to the exact opposite conclusion. I'll give you an example. So, for instance, I grew up in poverty, right? There's a lot of nights where I didn't have food on the table to eat every night. But if I wanted to use that anecdotal experience to make a generalization that my parents couldn't put food on my table, therefore no one's parents could put food on their table, right? That would obviously be a logical fallacy. So we'd be saying that you're doing the same thing here. It's very possible that there was a type, you took a gamble, and it just so happens, Millie, thank you for the subscription, that the women around you are bad at leading and the men around you are good at leading. Same way, maybe the women around me are good at leading and the men around me are bad at leading. But none of these facts about your anecdotal experiences can speak for such a broad generalization.
Okay, gotcha. Well, just in my opinion, debating. I think in general, men are put in more leadership roles than women, and that's just because of society and how society's been. How women rights and all that as well. So I'm just generalizing on how our history is, a U.S. American history. Men are put in leadership roles and they lead the people.
Yeah, but just because more men have been put in positions of leadership doesn't mean men are better at leading. For instance, white people have been put in more positions of leadership, but white people are better at leading.
Right. So my argument has to be based on factual. Then that's where you're getting at. Then you want me to give you a list of facts of why men are better at leadership.
Yeah, sure. And if you just want me to move on to the next guest, I could do that too. If you don't have any more arguments, but yeah, that'd be the argument.
Okay. Yeah. I probably don't have any facts on you. I don't have anything pulled up. So yeah, you can go to the next guest then.
All right. Well, I do appreciate you for coming up, Bruce. We're going to move on to our next guest. Gabby, thank you so much for the $1 on Venmo. Gabby says, I support you in a lot of your views and I like your lives, but you're kind of hypocritical. You've always been telling people to not interrupt you in rude ways, but I've witnessed you on your lives. One moment. Yelling over people and interrupting them. No hate, just constructive criticism. Appreciate that, Gabby. I will show the woman-hating misogynist more respect.
Dean!
Hello. Hi, how old are you?
80.
Okay. Are you a Christian?
Well, men
Hey,
have dicks, so
hey,
they
hey.
can lead better.
Oh, hey, James, did you know that, okay, you are a Christian. It's in your name. It's in your bio. So in the Bible, lines of sin, also in the Bible, all sins are equal in the eyes of God apart from blasphemy. So you basically just did something as bad as murder. I just want to point that out. Thank you. Moving on to our next guest. We got our next guest loading up into the queue. Everybody do give us a minute. What's going on? Do you think that men are better at leading than women?
Yeah, generally speaking. I did want to point out one thing in reference to a claim you made in regard to women being able to handle stress better than men. Is it not true that women commit, I don't know if I could say this word, I think you know what I mean, at higher rates than men?
Self-unaliving?
Yes.
No, it's actually the inverse that is true, which is funny because now you're going to be making the opposite argument. So you're saying that according to what you believe, women have committed more self-unalivings than men, meaning that they're worse at stress management,
No, that's
meaning that
not
they're
what
worse
I
at
just said.
leadership. But it's actually the case
That's
that
not what I
men
just said.
commit more self-unaliving than women.
No, I'm talking about attempting it and not like fulfilling it. As far as I know, women attempt it more than men, but men actually like
Yes,
basically
and
complete it more than women.
so this is really awkward to explain, but I will because it's still important to our conversation. Yes, you're right that women attempt self-unaliving than men. Because men are more abrasive, more aggressive, they attempt with harsher means, meaning their success rate is much higher. And women, on the other hand, their success rate is significantly lower. And
I understand this. I already knew all
when-
of this.
when-
I already
when
knew this.
you-
You don't even need to go on.
one moment.
Just
Well,
to
then you wanna-
spare
then you
the
wanna-
people the
then
traumatic
wanna-
points
then
you have
you
to
wanna,
make.
You want to have asked the question then. And because
Oh
women...
no, I'm asking to see if you understand. I understand this, Dean. Believe me. This is common sense. My point is
What
that
a rude individual. One
my
second, sir.
point is that they
No, you go on mute. If you're gonna ask me a question, don't interrupt me while I'm answering it, and then like snicker and say this is common sense.
hurry up.
If you were so
You're about to-
commonsensical, then you want to
about to
associate the genitalia in between your legs with being better at a leader. But the answer to your question, if I'll go finish that for the chat. Man, do you mind if I finish answering your question for those in the chat that are curious? Thank you. Okay, just give me a second, then I'll let you speak. But the answer to your question for those in the chat that are curious, women attempt with less harsh means, meaning that they have a lower success rate, meaning that they stay alive, meaning that they can attempt again.
Am I allowed to go on now? Because I really don't want to get kicked. Because I'm about to
You're completely allowed to go on,
literally
but if
dismantle your initial claim here. Yeah,
if
my
you
point
don't
is
if you don't want to
that-
get kicked, then just like don't interrupt me while I'm answering your
Yeah,
question.
okay, fair enough. Yeah, the main point in which I'm trying to emphasize in this is that really the point is not a matter of the who completes it at which higher rate, it's who actually attempts it, right? So in my opinion, right, if we're to see that women attempt self-unaliving at a higher rate than men, how do they deal with stress better than men when they attempt to unalive themselves at higher rates? Can you explain that to me?
So when you say that women attempt to unalive themselves at higher rates, you're conflating that with the fact that women attempt self-unaliving more, okay? And the reason that women attempt self-unaliving more is because they're less likely to exceed, meaning that there could be repeat accounts from the same person. So the conflation to higher rates is false. And then additionally, we do see women going to therapy more and on more antidepressants. So even when we want to have a conversation about how one manages and deals with their mental health struggles, we see an overabundance of men committing self-unaliving with more drastic means than an overabundance of women taking the mature, logical next step, right, of being medicated with what helps and talking to who helps. Okay, right? And then just on like the broader scale, if we want to have a conversation relating emotional outbursts like self-unaliving or hurting others, hurting yourself, men commit 92% of violent crimes. So ultimately the point is failed and is null.
No, that definitely did not. You did not. So you just said that. Okay, so we agreed that women attempt self-unaliving more than men.
Yeah.
So that's a higher rate, correct?
So when you say higher rate, you're saying how many people representative to their overall populace have attempted, when in all facts, the consideration of a statistic that you're making is the amount of attempts that all women have compared to how many women attempt.
Yeah, you're saying total versus ratio. But aren't men and women, like what's the populations of men and women in the world or in any given like society generally speaking? Are they not fairly equivalent?
It's fairly equivalent.
So if the total population of men and women are fairly equivalent and one unalives or attempts to self unalive more than the other one, wouldn't that equate to a higher rate as well if both populations are the same?
So no, because I've already explained to you, because men use more effective means, they have a higher success
I'm
rate.
talking about just the attempt. I'm not talking about the more effective means. There's a difference between those two.
The reason that it's important to consider the fact that men use more effective means than women when we're speaking about the attempt rates is that using less effective means leads you to more attempts. Do you understand that? All right. And then on the broad scale, you're saying women might have a lower level of stress management than men because here's an example of how women disproportionately hurt themselves at a higher
Well,
rate
I'm
than
actually
men.
not making a
Okay?
claim. I'm actually
Right.
trying to say
But-
that it may not be true what you're.
But when we also consider hurting other people, which I would categorize the same as hurting oneself, into an aptitude
It's not the same.
to set logic aside. Sorry, to set logic aside and act based upon explosive emotion to a level that would constitute like self-unaliving or extreme violent crime against others. We see men disproportionately commit them. And yes, I would say they would fall under the same category into this consideration. What reason would you have to say that hurting others and hurting yourselves to an extremely violent degree would not fall under the same category in a consideration of who's more likely to act on emotion compared to logic?
Yeah, I think when we're talking about the topic of dealing with oneself, like one's own stress, I don't see how equating violent crime that can basically spur from a multitude of variables in which don't result from like stress that is developed with oneself, right? So, right, violent crime, when we're talking about violent crime, men committing violent crime, I mean, there's many different reasons, and you're trying to simply equate it and categorize it as one category essentially
Heather,
in
thank you for the
reference to this
$2 on Venmo.
topic.
Yeah, sure, I understand what you're saying, right? And you'd be doing the same thing with self-unaliving. However, I'd agree with you in the sense that there's probably more reasons, right, to commit a violent crime outside of one's stress of self, right, than what would exist for self-unaliving. But what I would say is that you'd have the burden to isolate for violent crimes committed on basis of committed on the basis of stress, either towards oneself or towards others, and demonstrate that women are either as likely or more likely to do so than men. Right? But because it is the fact that men still do commit over 9 out of 10 violent crimes, we would still be able to make the consideration that we could just implicate, logically speaking, due to that over exaggeration or over exaggerated rate of men committing violent crimes compared to women, that men are more likely to do that than women, right? And I mean, like, this becomes clear when we look at EQ studies. Women have higher EQ on average than men, meaning they're just more likely to deal with their emotions better than men, process them more logically instead of having irrational outbursts. Same thing holds true when we look at the rates of hard drug substance abuse. I mean, this is just true across the board, right? I mean, it doesn't really sound like you have that convincing of an argument here.
I mean, I'm trying to say that you using the study that you provided to indicate that women simply deal with stress better than men, I feel is insufficient, because we can see a higher rate of self-unaliving amongst women. And I find that the point you made in regard to them unsuccessfully completing that in which leading to more attempts, I find that null and void, because it doesn't negate the fact that they're still attempting this.
Okay,
right?
This is the third time you've
like,
said this, and I've responded to it the other 2 times. I don't mind responding to it a third time.
I never said the
conversation's gonna go
sequence of
somewhere.
words and phraseology that I just used. I never said that in that sequence before. So no, you just lied.
Yes, you have. I mean, thankfully we have
No,
5,000.
I haven't.
One moment. Thankfully, we have 5,000 fact checkers watching. So, yeah, we'll be able to disprove you pretty
Yeah,
easily.
I'm pretty
there.
sure higher rates of attempted
are you getting
unaliving
emotional?
literally
One moment.
debunks the proof that, like, debunks your claim that they
Brittany,
deal with stress.
Thank you for the
better.
$5 on Venmo. So
Like-
I don't mind responding to this one last time, but I will say after like 3 times of repeating a response, I'll just leave it up to the chat to determine.
What
if
you
they-
said did not prove they
Okay.
deal with stress better.
5, 4, 3, good boy. Okay, so now is your time to listen. Now's my time to speak. Can you deal with that? Awesome. Awesomeness. Phenomenal. Okay. All right. Yeah, I believe I gave an overabundantly justified argument insofar as how women deal with stress better than men. And I don't mind just kind of going over it one more time. So let's start on the basis of sexual dimorphism within human anatomy between males and females that would lead us to the conclusion that just speaking on the basis of neurobiology, women are designed to deal with stress better than men. I mean, so the thicker your dendrites are in your spine, the better stress management you have and tolerance to things such as pain you have, right? This is a scientific fact, and this has been incredibly studied by institutions of neuroscience, science, and medicine for the last 70 years, and a broad consistency would exist amongst these institutions that women have thicker dendrites in the context of their spine, meaning that they have better stress management. And that's just coming from the non-biased, objective as possible, scientific research papers that have been peer-reviewed since before we were both born. Now, to take the second step and look at how this would resolve in society, that we could understand that scientific base set women are better at dealing with stress than men, we look at what happens in the world around us. What happens in the world around us is men are more likely to self-unalive. What happens in the world around us is men are significantly more likely to commit things such as violent crimes. What happens around us is men are significantly more likely to abuse hard drugs as an unhealthy coping mechanism to deal with unprocessed emotions. What happens in the world around us is women score higher on EQ tests, meaning they literally process their emotions more logically than men do. Liv, thank you for the $10 donation on Venmo. I appreciate you for the love, Liv. And then even in response to your critique about the self-unaliving rates, with you saying that women try more than men do, well, it is the case that they're less successful within their attempts, meaning that they have another chance to try again. And that is very depressing, sad, and unfortunate to say, but yet it is true. I believe that I've substantially refuted your argument and your point here on live today. I feel like any rational mind watching our conversation would agree. And at this point, you're at a stalemate because you cannot genuinely critique this. All you could do is repeat your original hypothesis, hoping that the fourth or fifth time you say it, I'll just no longer know what to say back. It's just astounding me. The last guest, Justin or whatever the hell his name was, he did the same thing. I don't know. Is this like a symptom of being a man?
I mean, are you a man? You know all the neuroscience. You tell me. Is it a symptom of being a man?
No, it's a symptom of being sassy.
That's
and
right. That's what I
apologize for
thought.
making my
That's
comment.
but somehow that's not a symptom of being a man. But everything you previously regurgitated is a symptom of simply being a gender. By the way, which is interesting, I find, when you're talking about biological claims and then referring to men and women. That's interesting.
Yeah, so for the context of these conversations, I'm assuming cis men and cis women, because I mean we could preface the conversations with recognizing gender identity as a social construct, referencing sex to biology, and then making the interconnection to what you mean when you say man and woman, referencing female and male sexes. But just for productivity, we all know that assumption is being made, and we all know in which the way the conversation is being.
I don't think that's the case. I think that's an assumption at best, which is obviously felonious.
What assumption at best is felonious?
You literally just said you could assume this. You're the one who literally said assume yourself.
Yeah, do you think trans men are men?
No.
Thank you for showing me that my assumption is not felonious, and that when you say man, you're predicating it on the male sex. Thank you so much.
No,
do you have anything relevant to add to the conversation?
Yeah, what I'm saying is that when you're making all these biological claims, you should be referencing male and female, not using the terms man and woman.
Yeah, it depends on who I'm talking to, right? I scientifically, the way that we reference these terms is with.
Why would it
female.
depend?
Yeah, because
when your guys' ideology is the one.
Because referencing women as females, right, can be dehumanizing. So in these conversations, I think it's fine to say women as long as we can operate under the assumption that we're referring to cis women.
Biological scientific terms, though. Why are you worried about offending someone?
Yeah, because we could talk about biological scientific terms under implicit assumptions that are productive to make without perpetuating implicit misogyny within terms such as dehumanization. This is completely a red herring at this point. One moment. At this point, you've completely lost the debate about your stance that men are better at leading than women, and you're just now trying to make one moment five. And now you're trying to pivot away to the way in which I'm using my terminology and what I'm referring to, and you're telling me that I have to be using other terms instead of these.
Yeah, and you insinuated outbursts are associated with men.
Oh,
that doesn't seem to be true.
Yeah, I did. So do you have anything actually to respond to my critiques? I offered you a stance. I gave you a fair response to critique the stance. and I will have you now like either critique the when I'm
Let
hey,
me critique.
when I'm pressing the mute button, it's because I want to speak. You lack impulse control. Maybe that's something men lack. You probably lack a lot more than impulse control. You lack over 3 inches.
I
Sorry. So do you want to respond to the stance that I gave you, or
You
should
lack
I move
it.
on?
Yeah, you lack impulse control in many ways too, my friend. You can't say you're perfect in that regard throughout your entire life.
I know.
There's no way.
I
You
just,
constantly muting people is impulsive.
it was pretty impulsive when I asked for your mother's phone number. Good.
Yeah,
It's pretty impulsive when I asked for your mother's phone number. Good thing it worked out. I'll be over tonight. I'll cook you and her a steak. Don't worry.
those jokes are impulsive too.
I
just
thought
can't.
the
You
jokes
can't
are
stop
funny.
with the 2001 mom jokes, can you?
No, never.
Those
I've
jokes
never.
are older than you are, my guy.
Oh my God, Mama Peach with a Rose Nebula. Holy shit, thank you so much for the love. Everybody show Mama Peach some love in the chat for the Rose Nebula. Hey, fuck you. We're gonna go ahead and move on to the next guest. We just got amped the fuck up with that Rose Nebula. We got Johnny loaded into the live. Everybody please show Mama Peach some love down below in the chat. Oh my God, Mama Peach. Dude. Mother Peach, everybody.
Shut the fuck up, you fucking nigger, fucking piece of shit, nigger.
Oh my God, I do apologize for the use of slurs. Moving on to the next guest. Don't even give them the time of day. W for Mother Peaches down below in the chat. I really appreciate you for the donation. That's incredible. The Rose Nebula, the prettiest gift on the app. If anybody else does want to support me, my Venmo as well as my PayPal are in my bio, and I do appreciate you guys so much for the love. What's up, Heather? Do you think that men are better at leading than women?
Yeah, I do.
Heather, dear God. Don't leave. Come back to the app. If you can't see me, I can't hear you. Please don't leave. I want this conversation very bad, Heather. So tell me why you think men are better at leading than women. I have a feeling like Heather's leaving. She just said yes and then dipped. Well, honestly, we're gonna leave Heather on the panel, in like the off chance that she comes back because I want to have a conversation with her. But in all reality, I like incredibly doubt that that'll happen. Yeah, Heather left, bro. Heather, dude. Heather dipped. What is up, Wacky Tacky Joel? Do you think that men are better at leading than women? Wacky Tacky Joel, lead your way back to that phone, you man. I thought that you were good at this shit. Come on, get on my level. Okay, he's not here. We're going to go to move on to our next guest. All right, it looks like we have to repeat a couple of the ground rules of the live. Make sure if you're in the queue that you're present, you're here, you're ready, you're at least 18, you're not driving, and you do think that men are better at leading than women.
Hello.
We're just looking for debates. And how old are you?
18.
You are like breaking every single rule, and you don't think that men are better at leading than women, right?
No, I just wanted to say all these Trump supporters can go kick ass.
You're breaking every single rule. You're literally breaking every single rule. All right, we're going to go to get the fetus off the live. I mean, based fetus, okay? Like based fetus, but you're breaking every single rule. What's up, Justin? Do you think that men are better at leading than women?
I don't think you can even tell me what a woman is, Dean.
Well, I mean, sure, I can tell you what a woman is in accordance with my definitions. I think it's going to be an adult human individual who would align with social categories and other characteristics typical of that of the female sex. But the conversation of what a woman is, what a man is not really relevant. I don't just mind assuming your definitions. So why do you think men are better at leading than women?
But if you can't explain what a man is or what a woman is, if you don't know the difference, how are you asking that question in the first place?
So I literally did just explain to you
No,
what a woman is, what a man is, and yeah, I gave you my definitions. But like once again, like when I'm having like this question above my head that says why are men better at leading than women, I'm like literally assuming males and females. Like for you, okay? Like I know that's how you define your terms. So I know when Justin B scrolls upon this live and looks at my background and reads why are men better at leading than women, I know for a fact that you are reading why are males better at leading than females. Okay, so that is the definition. That's the definition that we're operating off of because that is your definition, right? And that definition is important in consideration insofar as why you'd say men are better. So let's hear you out, buddy. Just tell me why you think men are better at leading than women. Don't be dense. Don't just go back to the whole you don't know what a man and a woman thing is. We're over it. We defined our terms. I explained.
You can't be over. You just talk
background.
about like cisgender stuff. I mean, come on.
Okay,
you have
dude.
to commit to one or the other, bro.
Yes, we are, Justin. We're committing
You're
to talking
taking
about
my
cis men and
definition.
cis women. Yes.
You're basing it on my definition of a man
Yes.
versus a woman.
Yes.
It doesn't that go against everything you stand for?
No. It doesn't go against everything that I stand for. When we operate on your definition and we have these very important conversations that do exist in the real world, because it is the case that both cis and trans women experience misogyny because of beliefs and the likes of what you hold to yourself, these conversations are absolutely important. And no, it doesn't go against what I stand for at all. We're operating off of your definition insofar as a conversation about why you think men are better at leading than women. Now drop it, stop the meta conversations, and tell me why you think men are better at leading than women. Or do you not have a defensible argument? Wait, is Justin scared? If Justin's not scared and has a defensible position for his misogyny, he'll give me an argument. But until then, we're going to go all ahead and go assume that Justin is scared. So if Justin responds to what I'm saying right now by further critiquing how I define man and woman, or further questioning the proposition of this live, or saying that I'm contradicting myself by assuming his definitions for all intents and purposes for these conversations, he's a scared runaway child.
Do you think that
I
a
think
trans man is a man?
Yes, I do indeed. Not relevant to the conversation though, buddy.
So would they be better leaders than women?
No, because if you're asking me what I think and feel and how I define my terms and what I believe to be true, I don't believe that there's any category of who's better or worse at leading that we could assign predicated on gender identity or even sex. So, like, once again, buddy, stop being scared. Tell me why you think men are better at leading than women.
I've already talked about it. Historically speaking, men have led more than women have.
Oh, you're so true. Now, let me ask you a question. If a white supremacist walked up to you tomorrow and told you that they think white people are better at leading than black people because there's an over-representation of white people in leadership positions, historically speaking, what would you respond to them?
Well, historically, that's inaccurate.
It is historically accurate. Big fact
No, it's
in America.
inaccurate.
You know what? Here's the best way to just fix and solve
Because
this
gender
confusion.
crosses more than just racial lines in terms of leadership.
I don't know what that meant. I have no clue what that meant. But
Well,
here's
think
a way
about it for a second.
here's a way to solve the confusion. So it is absolutely true in American history. So if a white supremacist walked up to you and said that white
I'm not
people are
talking
better at
about
leading
America.
Ash, think of the galaxy. If a white supremacist walked up to you and said that white people are better at leading than black people in America, what would you say?
You're talking about America. You're talking about leaders. I'm talking about the world. Historically speaking, across history, men have led more than women.
Yeah, and historically speaking, in consideration to their overall representation of the populace, anti-black racism exists right in every country on the face of our planet.
Race is
And there's a
totally different
disproportionate
than-
amount of other races apart from black people that have been represented within leadership positions. Anti-black racism is obviously very apparent in America because we could understand the historicity of things related to slavery and legal oppression of black individuals, right? But it's also the case that similar forms of oppression and anti-black racism exist globally, and there's been an underrepresentation of black people in leadership globally. Okay, so now that we can explain that it is global, what would you say to white supremacists? I would walk up to you and ask if white people are better at leading than black people.
I would disagree because leadership has nothing to do with race.
Awesome. So then you don't think
Gender
that the base
does.
Okay, yes, but now you have shown me that this baseline principle of there's an over-representation of this class of people in leadership positions, therefore this class of people is better at leading, is insufficient to demonstrate that this class of people is actually better at leading. So what are the reasons that men are better at leading than women apart from that? Another line of attack that you'd have here is biological differences between men and women that would make them better at leading. And that's ultimately what this conversation would boil down to. So if we just want to kind of skip past all of the nonsense gibberish, just tell me what you think the biological distinctions are between men and women that make them better at leading.
It's just been historically proven. That's it. I mean, it's
Okay,
pretty
well
straightforward.
now you're contradicting yourself, and I don't think that you're that smart of a person, right? Because we've already went over this. In fact, we just finished going over this, and you're just going right back to the argument after being educated.
All right, Dean, that's all I had to say.
Well, I mean, yeah, because you don't have much more to
God-
say because
God
you can't defend your own
bless.
misogyny. Wait,
Yeah,
Justin.
okay, sure, I'm a misogynist.
I have a question. So I have a question.
Wait.
Do you think that the truth should be scared of scrutiny?
No, absolutely not.
Okay, so then why is your truth scared of scrutiny? Does that mean that it's not actually true and it's more likely just emotionally driven bias that's false? Consider it.
No. Again, I told you, historically speaking, it's been this since the dawn of time. Man has led more than
Okay,
women.
we're gonna get a little bit deeper into this point because although like my analogy to the dynamic of race and anti-black racism, meaning that there's a underrepresentation of black people in leadership positions across the earth, does dispute your point. Like analytically, we could get a little bit deeper into it because I just think that it's important context for this conversation. So you're right. Since the dawn of time, men have led more. However, I have a theory insofar as why. My theory is that when we were cavemen, ooga booga, sticks, rocks, and caves, men would use their physical size as an advantage to oppress women and get women to do what they want. And because we all want power and we all strive for success, this means that men took advantage of that fact to gain more power, okay? And what does more power look like in societies? Leading the society, meaning that men originally constructed the patriarchy with the threat of a physical size advantage and turned women into the oppressed class and turned themselves into the oppressor class because the oppressor class would give them more power. And as society evolved from ooga booga, sticks, rocks, and caves, we just saw that implemented with more serious forms and threats of power, like literal armies, resources, abundance of wealth, power in numbers, education, institutions, until modern day.
Yeah, but in leadership roles, they also are in charge of men that follow them. So you're talking about women that will follow these leaders, men, but also other men followed these men. So it's not just a specific thing like one man had strength over women and that's how he gained power. He gained power over men and women in that society.
Wait, but why did he gain power over a part of those men too? It's because those other men didn't have the sufficient resources to gain power over him. Like what has happened throughout history? There's been like global conflict and wars started over one state nation having more resources than another state nation, so they gain power over them through a violent takeover, right? It's all about what resources and force multipliers you have available to you to become the oppressor because you have more power as the oppressor. All right. And I think that baseline of physical strength is what started this patriarchy where women exist in a oppressed class and men exist in an oppressor class because of that root cause of physical strength.
Yeah, but it's not just strength. Look at Napoleon. I mean, what was he, like 5'6"?
He was 5'7", which was actually above the average height of a man at the time. Did you know that? But also, Napoleon existed in a more advanced society that had other forms of quote unquote strength and power in the sense of resources and armies. So, yeah.
Yeah, again, I'm just saying it doesn't have to do with physical strength that defines leadership.
Well, not anymore, but that the theory that I'm proposing to you is that's how it started. Hello. Welcome in chat. Super duper good to see you all, and I'm super duper sad that live got taken down, but at least we know why it got taken down. So our live got taken down because we were talking about self-unaliving, and TikTok doesn't like that. I thought that I was like, sufficiently using different terms that would kind of throw the TikTok algorithm off, like saying self-unaliving compared to the other word. But TikTok caught me red-handed, quite frankly. The appeal's going through now. If it doesn't go through, I will be banned on TikTok for a week. So let's hope that doesn't happen. But I guess if we don't get our main account back, we're just going to go ahead and continue debates on here for a little bit. So for everybody joining us, it's super good to see you. We're just going to literally hop right back into the debates without a moment to spare. There's a couple things that I would ask from y'all. Do double tap away on that phone screen. Do share out this live. Seriously, share this live around with a handful of friends. Let's just try to get the algorithm going on here because we have significantly less followers on this account as we do on the main. And we're just going to go and pick up the conversations where we left off. Dude, I'm not going to lie. I really love exploring this topic. This is like probably like the most fun and like the best like debates that I've had in a very, very long time. Maybe it just has something to do with moving away from the one topic we were discussing for like 6 months. But I also just like really enjoy the implications of like these conversations. I think that it's legitimately productive. There's just a lot of good knowledge that's shared, and I have a lot of fun. But yeah, anyways, guys, spam FYP down below in the comment section. We're gonna go ahead and hop right into the debates. If you're watching the live and you think that men are better at leading than women, go ahead and hop that queue for me. And Maze, it's good to see you. Thank you for the hand hearts. All right, let's go ahead and see what Ye756 has to say. What's going on, man? Do you think that men are better at leading than women?
Yes, I do. Appreciate you letting me up.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do. I think men have better macrocosmic thinking than women. Men can usually assort themselves into a hierarchy a lot better, which is very conducive for forming a unit, the military, blah, blah, blah. And yeah, with women, there's often this veneer of equality, but I don't really believe they even believe it. And yeah, men.
Okay, so for
yeah.
your first claim about macrocosmic thinking, we actually know that women have a higher level of macrocosmic thinking than men. And for those that are curious, macrocosmic thinking means just to kind of consider like the large picture, like the long term. You're just kind of looking at the full grandeur of circumstances, and you are making decisions operating on that basis. But like the reason why I'd say that women have a higher ability to do this than men is because this is just what we see. Women are better at short-term investments in the stock market compared to men, right? Even though they have a lower amount of wealth compared to men, which means that they're just better at making those decisions. We also, on average, see women testing higher on IQ scores when, of course, like logical thinking is going to be required for macrocosmic thinking, and they better handle stress as well as they make less emotional decisions, which would just indicate a higher level of like logic leading your decisions. And in consideration of these facts, I'd say that they probably are better at looking at the big picture. About your second point about how men are better at organizing into a hierarchy, I'd absolutely disagree. Can't think of the galaxy, or else we probably wouldn't have a trail of global conflicts behind us. Jackson, thank you for the galaxy. I just think that men are too power-hungry, divisive, and emotional to organize into hierarchies with ease. Purdy, thank you so much for the sage slash. I appreciate you for the love, Purdy. Everybody show some love to Purdy, and thank you guys. Go ahead.
So the first point about stock market investments, I mean, everyone knows short-term investing in the market is degenerate. The second point, I forget the second point.
Yeah, but they're still better.
I wouldn't say
Sorry,
that, dude. A man's money is his power level in society. So although women might get lucky or and some anomaly of a study showed this or that, I don't think that's really genuine to say, oh, women are better at leading.
Ashton, thank you so much for the future encounter. I do appreciate you for the love. Guys, do we have lag? If so, I can fix that real quick. It looks like we do have lag. I'll be right back. Boom! Baby, look at that. No, that was just one of my many considerations to play into my claim that women are actually better at microcosmic thinking than men. All right, and then like the other considerations would still hold to be the case.
Yeah, I forgot your second one, but it was wrong too. I forgot.
You forgot it, but it was wrong. This demonstrates that
that I'm not on as many amphetamines as you, Dean. That's
you can't fucking say that on live, Yee. Now I gotta kick you. You like gave a unique argument that I was excited for, but then you said the name of a drug. Fuck you, okay? Ash, thank you so much for the fireworks. I do appreciate you for the love. I appreciate that so much. We're gonna go to get our next guest of the box right now, ladies and gentlemen. They are loading in. I appreciate everybody for the love. It's so good to see you all. If you want to support me on Venmo or PayPal, they are in the bio. I get 100% of the proceeds on those platforms compared to 30 here on TikTok. I'll still give you a shout out, and you could even attach a message and I'll read it off on live. What is up 1080p? Do you think that men are better at leading than women?
Absolutely.
And why do you think that?
Just look at history.
Yeah, look at history. What about history tells us that men are better at leading than women? Let's hear it.
I mean, we've built everything in this world, and women don't really have that much their involvement with that.
Building shit. Got it. Are you a construction worker, sir?
No, I actually work in tech.
Okay, beta male.
Don't you work in tech as well?
Yeah, I guess we're both beta, right? Because we're not building shit, right?
Yeah. I mean, I used to work in construction as well. No, I used to work in construction.
Oh, wait, so you used to be an alpha and now you're a beta?
What does that have to do with anything?
Well, I mean, you just said that. I mean, do you like self-identify as a beta male?
No.
Okay, well, I mean, in accordance with your logic, you're saying that men are better at leading than women because men have built shit. It seems like you're not actively building shit, meaning that you're a bad leader, right?
Well, I'm not really a leader, so no.
Okay, give me 1 second. I'm responding to a text. I can't do twice at once. I'm actually so bad at multitasking. In the meantime, guys, make sure that we're double tapping while I'm responding to this text. One moment.
Your mama built you. Oh my God.
Boom! All right, here we go. Sorry, I had to respond to a couple texts there. Let's go ahead and respond to your position so far. I want to ask you a question. But before I do, Maddie with the $100 on Venmo saying happy Tuesday. Dude, happy Tuesday to you, Maddie. Everybody, please show Maddie some love down in the comment section. Literally right now. Holy shit, that is such a huge dono. Thank you so much for the love. I really appreciate you so much for that. Everybody, please gas up Mother Maddie down below in the chat. That is so incredibly kind. Holy shit. So I want to ask you a question. If you and me were on a boat and we washed ashore an island, and I just quite frankly am more alpha than you. I have bigger biceps and you are intimidated. And I tell you to sit your ass down on the beach while I go out into the jungle, collect supplies, build us a house, make us food, and you really want to help me because, you know, it'll be more efficient. But I'm like, no, fuck you. You have to sit down. And you genuinely feel scared and you know that you couldn't take me physically speaking, so you stay sitting down. And then after I'm done building the house, building the, the shed, getting us our supplies, I come to you and I tell you that I'm superior to you because I built everything and you didn't. How would you feel? Would you say, no, Dean, that's outrageous. You didn't let me help you build. Or would you say, yes, senpai?
No, it depends on the situation. So for one of us,
I just gave you like such a nuanced situation.
You did not. You just said, "Oh, if I was big and buff and built this, or told you to sit down, would you think I'm alpha?" There's so many other things into this story.
Well, I mean, the connection here is that, like, no, like, okay, obviously, the reason that men have disproportionately, quote unquote, built things, created things, invented things, started companies, etc., right, throughout human history is because women have been like systemically disadvantaged and oppressed from doing so. Right, they have less opportunity than men. The thing has been historically true.
So why aren't there more builders, like women builders, women welders? What's stopping women from getting in all these fields?
So
why do they want to sit behind a desk and be HR women, just, apply for HR positions or just any kind of position where they just sit behind a desk all day? The majority of women, seems like they're better.
First of all, I want to make it clear that typically, like, construction workers and welders aren't going to be like leading the next generation of Americans. But
well,
okay, so they built the next generation of Americans. How? By building the infrastructure for them to live in?
Yes, and who designed this infrastructure?
Well, my follow-up question was, if you think that men are better at leading because they built the infrastructure for people to live in, well, who built the people to live in the infrastructure?
That's kind of dumb.
It's not dumb at all. I mean, actually, yes, it is in determining superiority, who's better at leading, but you're absolutely right about that. But that's just a self-refuting position because it would apply to what you're saying too. Ashley, thank you so much for the $15 on Venmo. And Natalie, thank you for the $10 on Venmo as well. Everybody, please show some love to Ashley and Natalie. 1 moment, shut up. Ashley and Natalie down below in the comment section.
I'm not a pussy like everyone else.
Be quiet. Be quiet. Cameron, thank you for the $5 on PayPal. Ooh, someone is getting very prissy and mad. I think that you need to shoot some more testosterone into your veins so you could have better emotional regulation, sir.
You don't have a good argument.
Like to think.
Can you tell me?
You don't have a good argument.
Yeah, tell me why women are better at leading.
Okay, well, first of all, of course you assumed that I'm like into that gender war bullshit like you are.
You are, because most of your audience are like 14-year-old girls and like 40-year-old single women. Of course they're going to agree with everything you say.
I mean, if you're curious, my main demographic. And so, first of all, if you're curious, my main demographic is going to be 24 through 36-year-olds. And then second of all, of course, you get pissed off by a man and then you lash out on the women. That's very typical for people like you, right?
I'm not upset at you at all.
Julie,
I'm
thank you for the
just telling you the
$5
truth.
on Venmo. And then moving on forward from that, something else that we have to consider here is you're saying that I have a weak argument. No, I don't. So it
You
is
can have a weak argument.
Okay,
Yeah,
what's
you
my argument, buddy?
that you, women are so much better because they produced you. They made you.
Oh my God. Okay, I'm going to go
Well,
into my argument. I need you to go ahead and listen. So first of all, I'm not into like the weird, stinky gender war bullshit like you are.
28, 29. You women are all single.
Hey, sir, the last time you were touched by a woman was at conception, little bro. So I wouldn't be talking about being single around these parts. And maybe you need to man up, learn something from Dean fucking Withers, and you won't get a restraining order after the first date 9 out of 10 tries. So, sir, this is like punching up at every single person in the chat, and it is not working out for you. I think that you need to reevaluate your focus on this
I won't.
live, so you don't leave with a bruise on your rear end. Does that sound fair?
I'm sorry these women make you feel so good, Dean.
Ash, thank you for the boxing gloves. No, don't say sorry for that. I'm sorry that these women make you feel so bad. You're up here saying that you're superior. You're up here saying that you are like the natural born leader, but yet you're getting so upsetty spaghetti, all right, at all these women in the chat. Like I don't know. Like, wouldn't it logically follow that if you truly believe that you're like the gallant, strong, logical leader and women are incapable, that like they actually wouldn't piss you off at all, but all it takes is for Miranda from North Carolina that you've never met in your life to call you a fucking dumbass, and you're over here like pissing, shitting bricks, ripping out your eyeballs and like screaming and crying like dude, like man, at least stay consistent, brother. But the response to your argument, I'm just gonna give it to you. You're saying that men have built everything, therefore they're superior. Well, men have had more opportunity to build, and it definitely doesn't make them superior better at leading, okay? In the same way that a disproportionate amount of creators, inventors, business owners, entrepreneurs, etc. are men, they're also white. Do you think that makes white people superior to black people? Was that a good argument? I mean, it makes sense because you're quite gagged, pretty silent. Make it into an edit. 4 + 4.
Dean, who gave women rights?
Oh my God. Okay. All right.
No, answer it. Answer it.
Can you
answer it? Can you answer it?
Well, not if you're talking.
Don't beat around the bush.
Not if you're talking,
hey,
weirdo.
Thank you for the dono. Hey, thank you for the dono. Answer the fucking question.
Dude, you definitely didn't give women.
Oh, are you getting upset? Are you getting upset?
Are you really going to say I'm
question?
getting upset?
Who
after
gave
you
women
just
rights?
spiraled?
Did women give women
Elizabeth,
rights?
thank you for the $5 on
Answer the
PayPal. I
question.
appreciate you for the love.
Stop running. Who gave women rights?
I mean, I'll answer as soon as you let me talk.
I keep
Ash, thank you for the
stopping, but you
boxing
keep
gloves.
saying, look, you keep saying, thank you for this. Just say it after. You can congratulate them after. Who gave women rights?
Okay.
Waiting.
Are we done? No, I'm waiting. I'm waiting for an opportunity to talk. Okay, I'm going to try to take my opportunity to talk now. Janice, thank you for the boxing gloves. Your question is who gave women rights? So you want me to say men, okay? But like in all reality, the real answer is the suffragettes, okay? It's not the men that gave women rights, but it was the men that were forced to give women rights.
Who forced the men?
I mean, maybe we could say that. Right? If you want to talk about who forced the men, right, you're going to be looking at all of the incredibly strong, inspirational women that have existed throughout history. And by the way, who took the rights away? Who did give them in the first place? Men. I just want to ask you a question. Do you think that white people gave black people rights? Or do you think that's insane?
Yeah, white people actually did give black people rights.
Do you think that makes white people better at leading than black people?
No, I never said that.
Okay, well, I mean, like, first, just to address, like, the claim in of itself, right, we've given you good reason to believe that it's false, but, I mean, it doesn't consequently lead you to believe that white people are better at leading than black people, so why does your other misconception about men giving women rights consequently lead you to believe that men are better at leading than than women?
I never said white people are better at leading.
I know that's
than
the point.
White people, but I mean, well,
that's
do you
kind
want
of
to be honest? It's true.
That's the point, and that's what I want you to address, right? Because every single talking point that you brought up so far in the live about men dominating invention, men dominating entrepreneurship, business ownership, building, etc., right, is also true of the dynamic of race, right, white people have also dominated, right, these fields.
Oh no, yeah. There's different factors that goes into this. It's
Wait,
not just
the chat is saying that you said it's true.
what's true.
That white people are better at leading than black people. Did you say that?
Yeah. Let's look at white dominated places.
Oh my God. Okay.
It's not a racist thing. It's just being honest. I think that the left, you guys are just so living in this fairy tale world. Like, just be honest with yourself. It's okay to say yes.
Jesus
White
Christ.
people enslaved certain people back in the day, but that doesn't mean that everything they did was wrong.
Okay. So go ahead and tell me what the biological differences are between white people and black people that make white people better at leading than black people.
I don't know. You tell me. It seems like the left, you guys are always like, oh, we have to support black people. So why do you keep telling?
Dude, stop yapping and answer a question. Like, I'm being so dead serious. You're making a claim. You're going to answer my question. I'm going to kick you. What are the biological differences between white people and black people that make white people better at leading? Like, don't like just spiral and start like going into like a parent don't just go fucking crazy about liberals and whatever the fuck. Just answer the question.
Dean, if you're not going to just Dean, if you're not going to
white people and black people that make white people better at leading.
There's not.
Thank you. Okay, right. And the lack of biological distinctions that make white people better at leading than black people. That means what? White people aren't better at leading than black people.
Okay, so look at all the white countries, white-led countries, majority white-led countries versus the majority black-led countries. Even you can do this for cities as well.
Yeah. So I hear what you're saying.
Like Mississippi, there's a place in I don't know exactly where.
Do you mind if I respond?
Yeah, go for it.
I hear what you're saying, man. So you're saying to like look at like predominantly white countries and compare them to predominantly black countries and determine like what countries have better outcomes. Okay, right? But one consideration that you should make is the fact that you've already told us that you're not a race realist and you don't think that there's biological differences between white and black people that make white people better at leading than black people, right? So that's when you open your brain and you consider the potentiality that maybe we see different outcomes based upon other factors, not their race. Like, for instance, if we want to talk about socioeconomic states and countries in Africa that are significantly lower than, say, that in the Western world, maybe we need to consider the colonialization of African countries that were predominantly black by white Europeans that drained them of their natural resources, left them with nothing. And now we see an incredibly, incredible levels of destruction at the hand of the white colonializers, okay? Right, because at the end of the day, it is resources that build like the average standard of living in a country. And a lot of countries in Africa that have been predominantly black since the dawn of time had their resources taken away from them, right? And that has nothing to do with the fact that they're black. It wasn't caused by the fact that they're black. In fact, it was impeded upon them because of the fact that they're black. It was like literally, they were the victim because they were black. That's not what you're understanding.
Can you answer me this then?
Yeah.
So why is it every time a black person does something for the first time, why is it always, oh, this is the first black president, first black this? Why do they have to be the first black anything? I thought the skin color doesn't matter.
Yeah, because it's important for us to recognize.
Why would you?
Well, I'm answering. Oh my God! I'm like answering your question. Have some impulse control.
Can you let me finish my fucking statement?
Sure. You had to take 3 seconds in between to think of more words. Yes, crayon and polka dots on paper, sir. I get it. Go ahead.
So what's the point of saying, oh, this is the first black this, black that? If we're all equal, what's the point even bringing up color in the first place?
Oh, don't worry. I got you. Because they were able to get into that presidency, even though people like you exist that voted against them because of the melanin content in their skin. They were able to get in that position of presidency, even though. Wait. You're black? Okay, you're not racist. You're just anti-black with similar implications because you're still upholding the oppressive system. I'm going to go back to what I was saying. Abby, thank you so much for the galaxy. I do appreciate you for the love. So anyways, so I'm going to go back to what I was saying, right? Because they were able to get into that position of power, right, even in consideration to slavery and its aftermath with legal segregation of black people from quote-unquote white businesses only ending in the 60s, meaning that there's still black people in America today that grew up drinking from a different water fountain because of the color of their skin and the social stigmatizations and consequent systemic racism that is still present. Do you understand that? Isn't that crazy? God, Turn your camera on.
It's 2024. So we shouldn't be saying that. It just sounds, to me, for being a black guy, it just sounds every time someone says, oh, black this, like, bro, you're just saying like black people are just lesser than. It just feels like we're lesser than because you guys always have to bring race into every single fucking thing. Oh, she's gonna be the first black president. Who gives a fuck? She's gonna be just a president. She's gonna be a woman president.
Okay, chat. I wanna know for sure that he's black. How do we? Because he can't turn his camera on. I just want to first verify. Is that like okay for me to do? Is it okay for me to like question if he's black or not? I just want to verify in the chat.
Yes, you can look on my.
Go ahead.
Can you stop muting me? Yes, you can look on my Facebook. Why do I have to hide that I'm my race? That's so dumb. Why don't you think I'm black? Can you let me know why you don't think I'm black?
Well, it's just it's really hard for me to believe that a black person in America today
because I'm not fucking brainwashed, Dean. That's why.
One moment would be so asympathetic towards the genuine existence of systemic racism and anti-black stigmatization and stereotypes that exists today and have existed for hundreds of years, and were legally perpetuated into the 60s.
I understand.
Stop interrupting me, dude. Yes, and feel free. Feel free to invite Santana in here, y'all. We'd love to have him up. You need to stop interrupting me. Can you? You need to stop interrupting me. Can you?
Graduated high school, went to a tech school. Then
What tech school?
I went to a NASCAR tech school.
NASCAR tech school. Oh, okay,
Yeah.
cool.
In
NASCAR is
Charlotte.
really big in North Carolina.
Yeah, did some work in NASCAR for a little bit. Then I decided, like the last couple of years, I wanted to get in tech. So now I live in California doing tech finance,
Okay,
like
that's dope.
trading and all that. Yep,
That's dope. Approximately, what's your age range?
I'm 28.
28. Okay, cool. You're about 9 years younger than me. All right, sounds good. So from North Carolina, 28, went to NASCAR
He changed
tech
his
school.
voice. I didn't change my voice.
No, he
keep going, my bad.
sounds the same. You're cool. You're cool. From North Carolina. I'm assuming you're a Panthers fan, right?
No, I don't. I'm not a sports fan. I don't watch sports, man. It's a waste of time for me.
Oh, but you like NASCAR.
I don't like NASCAR. I just like cars. I just happen to work in the NASCAR field. Yeah.
Okay. What about music? What's your favorite type of music?
I like everything. I just don't listen to like bluegrass or reggae.
Okay, I can dig it.
And this
I can
doesn't
dig
have
it.
anything. This is not. My skin color doesn't have to meet. I don't have to listen to rap music to be black.
No.
don't have to
I
be
didn't say
ghetto to be
anything
black.
about rap.
All right, well, let's go into it.
Whoa!
I want to
Hold
go
on.
into it, bro. Let's get into what you want, bro.
Whoa! Slow down for a second. I'm just trying to fill out who you are, right?
Yeah,
Because
go for it.
I'm actually pretty eclectic, right? I enjoy
Okay.
country music. I enjoy
Yeah, same.
jazz, classical, hip hop,
Yeah, same. I
R&B,
enjoy
all of
pretty
it.
much everything. Yeah.
Cool. So, music, right? Who are some of your favorite artists?
I guess it depends from what genre.
Do you like country?
Yeah, I like country.
Okay. Who's your favorite artist?
I like George Strait.
Okay. Cool. What about, do you like R&B?
Not a big fan of R&B. No.
Okay. What about jazz?
I don't really know any jazz artists.
Okay. Any hip hop?
Yeah, I listen to rap. I listen to new rap, old rap. Like,
Okay.
yeah. I'm more of like a 2010 eras kind of rap, just because.
Same here.
That's just
Who
what
do
I
you
grew
like
up
from
on.
2010?
Like just all Lil Wayne, Waka Flocka, Gucci Mane, all that
Okay.
kind of stuff. Yep.
Okay. Cool.
Okay,
cool,
where we
cool.
getting at?
Just
You trying to take me
filling
on
you
a
out. No, just. Well, I mean, I don't know. I would say if you were cute, maybe, but I can't see you, so who knows, right?
Yeah.
So just to kind of to bring this full circle, right? Quick question for you. Let's say you're at a family function, right?
Yep.
And you guys are gonna throw something on the grill.
Yep.
Right. Would you call it you're at your family's barbecue?
It's a cookout.
It's a cookout. Okay, cool, cool. So let's say there's going to be some line dancing going on, right? And there's older black people hanging out, and they're getting ready for the line dancing. What song would they be line dancing to?
I don't know. I don't think black people line dance.
No, we definitely
Majority
do.
of black people. Well, we do, but the majority of black people don't line dance. But if you're going off a typical black family, they're probably going to do that to the left, to the left, to the right. That stupid song.
No. The older generation.
I don't know, man. I don't know the name of songs. I'm sorry.
Okay. The Electric Slide. You ever heard of that one?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, cool. If you're talking about the younger generation, like a little bit younger than you, right, or probably around your generation, what line dance would they dance to?
Dude, I don't know. I don't sit here and just study these things.
It's. I promise you, it's not a study. I promise you, it's not a study. Super simple. I'm just trying to see if you pass the vibe check. That's it.
No, you're trying to see if I pass a black test. Every black person doesn't grow up like you, bro.
Oh no, I absolutely know
Thank
that.
you for the well diving. I appreciate you for the love.
There's no concrete thing on like to be black. You have to do this. You have to love chicken. You have to love this to be black. That's pretty much what you're telling me right now. You're
I
pretty much
never
telling
said.
me black
I
people have
never
this-
said. I never
No,
said
listen,
chicken.
no.
That's
Okay, I
definitely a
know.
racist
I know.
stereotype.
Yeah, it's
Listen,
a racist stereotype.
1080.
Exactly.
1080.
You're
The
telling me that
whole
I have
thing
to do-
is.
Yeah,
What
go for
I'm
it.
trying to say is, I'm sorry, my brother, but you don't pass the vibe check. I genuinely don't believe you. There's nothing.
Look at me up on Facebook, bro.
Why would I
You
look at
listen
your Why would I look at your Facebook profile? I have no
Because
interest in
it's
looking
a
at your
black-
Facebook profile.
Because you guys don't believe that I'm black because I don't sound a certain way.
I know it's not about how you sound, because again, I have relatives and friends that sound similar to you.
So what's the issue then? I don't get it.
Yeah, there's just nothing that
It
you've
sounds
said
like you
yet
guys
that
are
makes
super
me
bra-
believe that you're a black man. But
That does not make Santana. Answer me this. So what do I have to do to be black? You're pretty much telling me that black people are different. Are you not telling me black people are different than white people right now?
what I'm
Saying that
telling
black-
you, what I'm telling you is that
because
what
I grew
the
up different
category.
than you. Yeah, go
No,
for it. Sorry.
well, I was going to say you don't know how I grew up, but my whole point is there's a certain shared experience that black people do have, right? We're not all a monolith, but we do have certain shared experiences. Quick question, really quick. 1080, you're from basically the same area as I am. You're almost close to the same age as I am. If you are driving through Raleigh, right, or Durham, it's about 9 p.m., it's dark. You see those blue lights flashing behind you.
Yep.
Walk me through what you do.
And I'm driving.
Yep.
I just keep driving because I don't play the victim card and I'm not a criminal.
You run from the police?
Did you not just hear what I said? I said I'm going to do the same. I'm just going to keep driving. I'm going to act normal because I'm not a criminal and I don't play the victim card.
Okay.
He said if I'm driving my car. He said if I'm driving my car
and
there's
I
the
said,
lights
you
behind
see
me.
the blue lights behind you. They're pulling you over.
Yeah, I'm going to pull over.
Okay.
I'm going to pull over.
They pull you over. Walk me through what that traffic stop looks like for you in your head.
I stop. I roll my window down and wait for the cop to come to my door.
Okay. The cops come to your door. What happens?
He's going to tell me what he's stopping me for. He's going to say license registration. I'm going to give him my license registration.
Where would your license and registration be?
Wherever I put it in my car. It's either in my visor or my glove box.
Okay, so it's in your glove box. You just reach over, grab it, hand it to him.
No, I'm going to tell him, hey, he say license and registration. I just grab it. I don't understand dude, all cops are not like this. You're pretty much telling people right now that if you're black, you have to do this a certain way. No, bro, I'm not a criminal.
No.
I don't have anything wrong
No,
with you.
no.
It's about how
So,
listen,
okay,
listen, Santana, listen.
Wait,
Listen. Can you
this
listen?
is, I'm just going to give you the answer, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to give you the answer. It's not that I'm sitting here saying this is how you have to do something, right? I'm telling you, when I tell you that there's a shared experience that black people have, and it's not because we're a monolith, but it's because we deal with the same type of things. Especially black people from the South, from the areas that you and I are from, we don't have the luxury of saying, oh, I'm not a criminal, nothing's going to happen. But also we don't have the luxury of just saying, oh, it's in the glove compartment, I'm just going to grab it. No, what happens is when police pull us over, First of all, we put our hands on the steering wheel, right? Second of all, it's a whole play. It's exactly. I know you don't because you're not a black man.
I am a black man.
We literally. No, you're not.
Let me tell you a story about racism.
No, you're not.
I love how you're telling me I'm not
you're
fucking
not.
black.
Let me finish.
Let me
finish.
finish. Santana.
We also walk the cops through every single thing that we're doing because you know what? We can't just reach in our glove compartment because we might get unalived. So we have to say,
Santana,
hey,
you're
Mr.
so
Police
fucking
Officer,
brainwashed, bro.
we're grabbing our.
You are fucking brainwashed. It's okay,
How am I
bro.
brainwashed? How am I brainwashed if I've
Santana.
actually been through this?
Santana,
No. I'm not telling you what I think. I'm telling you what I know.
Okay, I'm telling you what I know.
It's not a think.
You're getting upset for no reason. Are you gonna let me talk?
Go ahead, 1080.
Listen.
Go ahead.
So every cop I've dealt with and got pulled over for speeding tickets or just doing something dumb, it's never been an issue. The only issue I've ever had was a security guard. Me and my friend was driving his truck. I was in the back seat of a truck, a extended cab truck. He was doing donuts in the parking lot. A security guard stopped us, looked at all of us, telling us to get the fuck out. He said, I'd get all you guys in trouble right now. He looks in the back seat. I'm the only black guy in the truck, looks right at me and said, I know you have warrants. So you're going to tell me I'm not black and haven't dealt with any racism?
I didn't say that. I said you're not black because you're not. I'm sorry.
Not black because what?
Like,
tell me why I'm not black.
Because the simple fact of the matter is
because I'm not a brainwashed
you're sitting here
that says I don't play the fucking victim card, bro. That's why you don't think I'm black. You don't think I'm black because I'm not a stereotypical fucking.
Who's playing the victim card? Who's
you're
playing the victim card?
Because you're saying
what I'm saying.
When your cop pull you over, you're not.
What I'm saying is that the things that you have said.
I'm not a criminal. I don't need to do
the things that you have said as a quote unquote black man, where you can't turn on your camera, so we just have to take your word for it. You don't, and first of all, you don't pass the vibe check, so LU.
Bro,
second of all, when you talk about the actual shared experiences, you don't know how I grew up. Also, you don't know what I'm privy to as well.
Yeah, you don't know how I grew up either, but you're trying to tell me something.
You also don't understand the situation that I'm in currently. And the fact that I'm still in this situation and I know other people who grew up in a completely different situation than myself, and they still have this shared experience. And for you to say that you're from the same area as me, yet you don't understand what I'm saying at all, stop it.
You said you're from a different state. Where did you say, Virginia?
No, I said I'm from South Carolina. You said you're from North Carolina. I said the same area.
Yeah, South Carolina.
Same area.
Totally different state.
Same area. Yeah, absolutely. Same area.
You know how many cities are different between South Carolina and
same
North Carolina?
Area.
No, it's not.
Same area. North Carolina, South Carolina, same area. I don't care if you're saying Raleigh, Durham, Charlotte, Greensboro,
so every city,
York,
Rock Hill. So every city in North Carolina and South Carolina.
What I'm saying is it's the same area, 1080. You are lying.
I'm sorry, the black friend didn't play this, Tom Dean. It didn't work out for you.
Listen,
he doesn't have any real talking points.
It's not a talking point. It's facts. Oh,
no, you're just a fucking race baiter.
How am I race baiting? If I'm black, how am I race baiting? The one thing that we can verify, 1080, is that I'm actually black. Like we know that.
Yeah, look how angry you're getting.
Exactly.
You're gonna call me white. Exactly. You're gonna call me white because
I didn't call you white. I just told you you're not black. I don't know if you're white or not. I just know you're not black.
Yeah, I tried to prove it. And you said I don't want to look at your Facebook.
What's your Facebook, bud?
Here, I'll send you a message.
Yeah, go ahead and send me a message. What's your Facebook? We'll take a look at it. Again, I'm not telling you that you are white. I'm not saying that you're Hispanic. I'm not saying any of that. I'm just saying you're not black. I can tell. Super simple.
Hey guys. In the meantime, make sure that we're double tapping on that phone screen.
Tap that screen, send him money on Venmo, do all the things you guys usually do.
I'm always confused when the guests will say that.
I mean, make your money, bro.
Hey, did you say Raleigh?
No, I'm from, I don't know where it says it.
Did you, NHI, safety inspection and service, okay. This is you, right? 1080, come back.
North Carolina hat on?
Come back, 1080.
I'm here.
Okay. Give me 1 second.
It's a black guy with a hoodie on, and I have a hat that's got a North Carolina on it.
1 second.
And no, Santana's not going to show you guys me. If I wanted to show my face to everyone in here, I would have put it on here. It's a fake, bro. People in this chat are not real people. They are all NPCs.
Yeah, I'm not.
How much
I'm
you
not
paying these
looking.
bots?
Hey, I'm not looking at your Facebook. I can give a damn about your Facebook. I found your LinkedIn, bud.
I don't even have a LinkedIn.
Oh, you definitely have a LinkedIn because it has your actual experience, your NHI. Yeah,
NTI.
No, your information for your NASCAR stuff. Like it has all your information here. Your LinkedIn is right here, bud.
Okay, well, look me up on Facebook then.
Why am I looking you up on Facebook when I can find your LinkedIn? You are not good at this.
Wait, does it have a picture of him on his LinkedIn?
Yeah, it has multiple pictures from his graduation class, from his whole thing. It
Where
has
does
the
he have
stuff that
graduated from?
your NASCAR thing.
Is
Do you really want me to?
Can you just turn it around? I will be honest if that's me or not.
Yeah,
What the
I'm
fuck?
like I don't know if you want me to go ahead and just completely dox you.
Bro, I'm not white.
Okay.
So it doesn't matter. If it's a white guy, you definitely don't have the right person.
Okay. Give me 1 second here.
Shit, Shelly with the $50 donation on Venmo because the guest said to send you money. Shelly, I appreciate you for the $50 donation. Everybody, please show some love to Shelly down below in the chat.
Shelly, big
I
W
really
for the
appreciate
shells.
you for the love. Thank you so much, Shelly.
Shelly,
Everybody,
just send more.
everybody,
Don't stop.
calm down. Don't tell Shelly what to do. But thank you so much, Shelly. Holy fuck. Thank you so much. And Anya with the $77 and the 61 cents, dude. Holy shit. On
Santana, bro,
PayPal.
just look
I
at
want to
Facebook. It's
get
so much
at
easier.
least 700 W Anyas, that is ANYA, and 700 W Shellys down below right now. Thank you, Anya and Shelly. Holy fuck. I appreciate you guys. And thank you, Kagan, with a $1. Elizabeth with a $5. Cameron with a $5. Hannah with a $5.
Hey,
I appreciate
Santana,
you
if it
guys
makes
for
it
the
easier,
love.
it says I'm from Durham, so should be easy to find me. Joshua Gentry. Look for it. If anyone wants to see it, Durham, North Carolina. I don't fucking care about being doxxed. No one's gonna do anything.
Okay.
If no one
Yeah,
believes me.
that's cool. I never went to your Facebook page.
Well, why don't you go to my LinkedIn? I told you I don't have a LinkedIn.
But well, again, it verifies all the information that you actually spoke to, right? And so, quick question. Another milestone talks about the. A second here.
Yeah, I don't care. Dox me. It's a bunch of people that just
Well,
sit
I
behind a
don't-
computer all day that aren't going to do anything.
I don't.
Can we just have a conversation?
I don't.
Can we have a
I
black.
don't-
Can we have a conversation?
One second. I don't really like where this is going.
I don't either. That's why I haven't
Can
said
we-
anything, Dean. But
Yeah, because
I
you guys
listen,
are sitting
like,
here just
I-
being weird, trying to
like,
find out if I'm black or
well,
not. It's kind of
like I don't think it is like I just want to clarify like two things.
Thank you.
Like it's not my place to like insert myself into conversations of like questioning someone's blackness. But what I
Yeah, I
will
don't understand why
say is
Santana
like
can't hear
I
question
think
that.
it may just be best to end this conversation where it is, and then additionally, I would also like mods to mute anybody in the chat that are like posting his name. Like, how about we just
yeah,
do
and
this?
that's why I never said his name.
Yeah. I just want to really get off of the topic. So Santana, you're fine, bro. I mean, like, yeah, you're absolutely fine. Like, this guy was claiming crazy shit about black people. He was like preluding at like literal like white people are superior to black people type shit, and you're
I
completely
never
like
said
well
that, but
within your right to like come up here and like
I-
question him. But
You know, my,
I
my whole thing is I don't care if you have a stance, right? Or if you have a belief. The thing that I don't like is when you misrepresent who you are. So 1080, because I'm still gonna call you that
Yeah,
because
call me
again,
that.
like if you feel that way as whatever race you are, that's perfectly fine. But please don't speak on behalf of Black people if that's not who you really are. That's it.
Well,
I
can you
genuinely
stop
don't care.
speaking on all Black people? You're just speaking on all Black people as well.
Oh, I'm not
Because you
speaking
don't.
for all Black people, but when there is a situation where my people is being spoken about, I do like to be a part of the conversation.
Okay, well, what did you come up here for, Santana? What's your whole argument up here?
Oh, I came up here to see if you passed the vibe check, which you didn't, bud. I was literally just enjoying Dean as I do daily on my way to the gym, and I just had to come up here because of that. That
you
was
wanna
it.
you want to hang out?
I gotta go
for a
lift. I gotta go lift. I gotta lift. I was
what-
literally just listening.
What are you hitting today?
That's upper body. I did legs yesterday. I can barely walk.
When you do upper body, is that like back, by, tri, and chest, or do you like do a full upper body day, or do you like have a split like buys and back, tries and
It's
chest?
it's a split. Today is chest and bicep,
Fuck
and then I
yeah,
have a
dude.
separate back day. Like I have a whole routine. It's a whole thing.
Fuck
So,
yeah, man. Yeah, I appreciate you for coming up, Santana. We all love you here. Feel free to request up whenever.
Absolutely. I'll see you later, bud.
Peace out, Santana. We're going to move on to our next guest, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go ahead and see what Garrett Simpson has to say, ladies and gentlemen. If you are in the queue, make sure that you do think that men are better at leading than women. Right now, we have 26 guest requests, which means our live is like very shadow banned, and that's just surprising because we're on our second account. The appeal did go through on the main account, so we will probably head back there soon. And I just thought I'd let y'all know. What's up, Dom? Do you think that men are better at leading than women?
What's up, buddy? Yeah, I personally do. Let me just hear your stance a little bit and kind of your viewpoint very quickly. I think I have kind of a
Sure. I don't think that we could generalize leadership abilities qualified on the basis of sex or gender. I think that sex and gender tell us nothing about how good someone is going to be at leading. That is like saying that people that wear Nikes are better at leading than people that wear Adidas. It doesn't tell us anything. And that's my stance. But what's yours? Why do you think men are better at leading than women?
Yeah, so one more question. Do you think men are better at leading in any category and women are better at leading in any sort of category?
It depends on how you'd qualify it, but like generally, I don't think that we could draw someone's ability to lead predicated on their gender or sex. There's sexual dimorphism between the brains of males and females for sure, and maybe sometimes you could use that to indicate better at leading. Like men are like better at leading in like aggression, maybe. Like I don't know. It's just like super vague. But I'm talking about like general leadership abilities that are generally looked at as like a positive, good thing. So why do you think that men are better at leading than women?
Okay, fair enough. I guess one thing I could definitely say men would be better at leading on, just due to their physical strength as like protectors of women. You know, a man protecting his wife and being a male role model in the house. I think being physically strong and being able to, protect his wife from people who,
Cheyenne, I appreciate you for the $10 on PayPal. I do appreciate you for the love. W for Cheyenne in chat. Protect your wife from who?
Would you not agree with that?
Protect your wife from who?
Just be a protector, against.
From what?
Bad people. To be honest, there's tons of weird people out in the world.
Bad people, like who? Give me an example.
Someone who's like would try and assault her or something.
Like who would probably try and assault your wife?
Who would? Say you're walking her down the street and there's some random ass homeless guy in the street. You know what I mean?
Guy. There you go. Yeah. Well, so basically, like the point of that line of dialogue was just, it's just not so gallant and respectful to throw shit on the wall and clean it up. Men are the gallant, awesome, superior protectors of women, protecting them from themselves. But regardless of that, I'm talking about like leadership, and I don't think that even if a man were to step in and help defend their partner, that would qualify leadership. That's just the bare minimum. But I do want to ask you, do you think that like a man would better perform in like the Oval Office than a woman?
In the Oval Office, you know what? I would like to say that men are more prominent in the Oval Office, but I think that's due to the multitude of factors,
Do you think men are like better at leading the presidency or better at leading the country than women?
You know what? You're probably not, to be honest.
All right, I do appreciate you for coming up, and we're going to move on to our next guest, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody do just give us a minute. We got Anthony loading into the queue. Everybody do just give us one moment. All right. Hey, what's going on, Anthony? Do you think that men are better at leading than women? Anthony? Okay, Anthony's not here, so we are going to move on to our next guest, you guys. If you are in the queue, please do make sure that you are present. You are willing and ready to debate. While we are getting our next guest up here, ladies and gentlemen, everybody do just kind of give us one moment. Let's go and get our next guest up the box. We got Donald Pump loading in. Anthony does not feel like debating. What's going on, Donald Pump? How old are you?
I'm 19.
What year were you born in?
2005 in June.
Okay, all right. Do you think that men are better at leading than women?
I'm kind of 50-50 right now, but I want to hear your opinions. Maybe you could change my opinion. Right now,
So you're
I'd
just
say
agnostic
yes.
on misogyny?
No, I wouldn't say that. Right now, I'd say yes. We haven't seen many women prime ministers or presidents or women leaders of countries. There's a really good woman leader in Germany.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that women are worse at leading. That means that women have less opportunity to lead, right?
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you there. We haven't seen many. I mean, throughout history, we've seen more men leading. Like, if you to ask me, maybe I'd say in the next 100 years when women get more chances, because
Well, I wish I could respond to what you're saying
here.
here. We have seen women leading on the global stage. My statement is that because there's a disproportionate amount of men leading, that doesn't mean that men are better at leading. And I mean, this could be easily refuted with an analogy to the dynamic of race. We see more white people leading than black people in representation to their overall, disproportionately so in consideration of their overall representation in the populace. Does this mean that white people are better at leading than black people?
No, absolutely not.
So then I want to mean that men are better at leading than women.
Like I said, I'm 50-50 at the minute.
So what's the
obviously
difference?
right now,
So why would your logic hold to be the case when we're speaking on gender but not race, right? So what's like the difference?
well, I was about to say, like, right now, I'd say it's more experience. I haven't seen. Yeah, I'm not. I'll admit, I'm not the smartest. You seem like an intelligent bloke, but I'm.
Donald Pump, are you here? There you go.
Sorry, right now I'd say, but I'd say because women, in my opinion, are more compassionate than men, more caring. So I'd say, after seeing more women lead, prime ministers or presidents, because what I'd like to say is I think Kamala would probably been a better leader than Trump.
Okay, dude, what are you getting at here? You've already said this 3 times. You've just continued to repeat that you want to see more women in positions of leadership before you can make a determination if men are better or not at leading, right? But we've already disputed your baseline principle that just because there's a disproportionate amount of men in leadership positions doesn't mean that they're better, right? And we disputed that baseline principle with an analogy, right, in the dynamic of race. So that argument has been defeated unless you have a response. But what are the biological distinctions between men and women that make men better at leading?
There actually aren't, to be honest.
Okay, so if there's no differences between men and women, men aren't going to be better at leading than women.
Nah, okay. You know what?
Cheyenne, thank you for the $5 on PayPal. All right, appreciate you for coming up, man. We got our next guest, Joshua, loading into the live. And thank you, Cheyenne, for the $5 donation on PayPal. On PayPal, quite frankly, I appreciate you. Everybody show some love. While we move on to our next guest. And here shortly, we will probably end up moving back to the main account. That's right. That's right. Quite frankly. Hello. Do you think that men are better at leading than women?
So no, I think women tend to be better leaders because of like how we're talking about a system that, you have to you don't have to compete, but there's more competition if there are less opportunities and like options for jobs. And then what patriarchal societies tend to do when women do gain rights is they kind of turn them into a double-edged sword. And it's like, well, you wanted that opportunity, now you got to deal with it. And
Woman,
it's like,
stop talking. The man is here.
I mean, I'm in a country where we have freedom of expression, including speech. So yeah, that's why I came up to talk about this.
Yeah, no, you're good. The man's no longer here, right?
Yeah, it's okay.
he tried to flex his biceps and he just got sent back to the pits of hell. He'll wait his turn. Go ahead.
It's cool.
No,
Yeah,
honestly, I'm not gonna lie. I was just gonna say thank you for your time and kick you, right? Because I'm just looking to debate men that think men are better at leading than women. But because of that guy, I want you to go ahead and take it away. Finish what you're saying. I want to hear you out.
Yeah, like, I mean, I could talk about these things for like a while, but like it was mostly just, I don't think that, like, again, and also people tend to just label women who do speak up regarding these things as quote unquote man bashers or spewing hate. And it's like, no, actually, if we have like freedom of speech, then there shouldn't be this like tone placing all the time where it's like, if you only listen to women when it's attractive to you or if it benefits you instead of listening to like the other side of it as well, then it like, you know, low key is like a really manipulative way to infringe upon those rights that we do have. But yeah,
Okay.
sorry.
Hey, I appreciate you so much for coming up, and I hope that you have a phenomenal rest of your day. Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks.
Yeah, have a good one. Bye, KT. W's for KT in the comment section. W's for KT in the comment section. Now, Vexbolts, feel free to hop back in the queue. I want to bring you up now. Thank you so much for the gift. I do appreciate you for the love. All right. Yeah, no, Vexbolts, where are you at? The guy that just came up and told her to stop talking because a man's here. I would love to have a discussion with you now, so do hop in that queue. Mr. Vexbolts, and he's back. All right, here we go. Hey, what's going on, man? How old are you?
Yo, what's up? 18, brother.
18. 1 second. I just wanted to put you on mute. Guys, make sure that you're double tapping away on that phone screen. I appreciate you for the love. Thank you so much. I do appreciate you so much. You guys make sure that we're double tapping on that phone screen. Just give me a second. I'll get around to you. Just give me a second. Just 1 second. Hey, how old are you? Oh, they left. Okay.
Yo, stop bringing up fucking women.
No, just give me a second. No, please, seriously. I will get to you. Don't worry. You have my attention. I just need you to wait. Just need you to wait a second. Just seriously, we'll just wait a second. And don't worry. I'm not going to let you talk to any of the women coming on my live. Now, I just wanted to hear from them first. I'm cycling through every single woman that I see in the queue. There's one more. Okay. There's one more. Hi. Hey, what's going on? Do you think that men are better at leading than women?
No, I don't. And Vexbolts, you suck.
Okay. No worries, Sydney. I am just looking to debate people that do think men are better at leading than women. Yeah, but I do appreciate you so much for coming up. Okay, anyways, Vexables, we finally got around to, we just, I wanted to ask a couple other people, like, I don't know. I'm telling them to only hop in the queue if they think that men are better at leading than women, but maybe they didn't hear that. It's, whatever. I just wanted to chuckle, just doing my debates. Go ahead and unmute. Let's have a conversation, buddy. Why do you think that men are better at leading than women? Do you know how to find the mute button? I could write it with crayon on a piece of polka dot paper.
Bro, I'm not
for you.
80 years old, okay?
You're like 18 or 80? 18 brain cells? 80 brain cells?
I told you I'm not the fucking 80 years old, okay? You fucking sassy ass replies, okay?
Oh, okay. So let's just...
None of the women are getting wet by your fucking comments, okay?
Not only has a woman never, quote unquote, gotten wet after talking to you, 9 out of 10 of them have probably filed for a restraining order, including your mother, your sister, and your grandmother. And then secondly, let's not express your weird, very fucking weird obsession with a woman's genitalia. We're here to have discussions about your misogyny, so take it away. Why do you think men are better at leading than women?
Are you done with your little rant, or...?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Tell me why you think men are better at leading than women.
Well, historically, we haven't really seen any great female leaders, like Kamala Harris, was a great candidate.
Okay, so your argument is we haven't seen it, therefore it doesn't exist. We haven't seen your brain, it definitely doesn't exist.
Well, I'm going to show it to you.
Yeah, sorry. So, okay. So you're saying that there's been a disproportionate amount of men in positions of leadership, historically speaking, compared to women, right? So here's my thing. You know what? We've used the analogy to race a lot. Let's just try something new here. I'd say that's because men have had more opportunity to be in those positions of leadership, not because they're actually better at leading. But let's isolate for your hypothesis and see if it tests true. Okay, so you're saying, well, there's been more men in positions of leadership, meaning they're better at leading. Well, why is there more men in those positions of leadership in the first place? What makes men better at leading than women? What are the differences between men and women that make them better at leading? Lead your way to the unmute button. Yeah, it's just so funny. It's just so ironic. It's just like, it's so, just out of just for your guys' knowledge, there's 2 buttons that you have to press to mute or unmute your mic. It is so easy. It is so incredibly easy. Like this is just insanity. This is just insanity. So you click on your profile picture and you click the icon on the mic. I just helped you out by sending you an invite to mute it. Now all you have to do is click the big accept button right in front of your face on your phone screen. That's right, buddy. But he can't lead himself to that either. He can't lead himself to that either. No, he can't. He's trying. We'll give him that. He's trying. He's trying his best. You know what? While you're figuring out that unmute, I'm just gonna like, let's see. 1 second. Well, this is gonna be good. This is gonna be good because he's still figuring out how to mute his mic. This will be fun. This will be fun. Just give me a second. This will be. Hi, Sav. Do you think that men are better at leading than women? Oh no, unfortunate. Sav's not even here. Okay, well he's figuring out how to mute his mic. I just know exactly who we need. I just I just know exactly. Hi, Ref. Do you think that men are better at leading than women?
Hi, I had a question for like a debate that you did earlier, or like a talking point that you used to like, prove like Jesus was pro-choice. Like you said that.
That is really off topic. Do you want to ask?
I know, but like I've been really wondering, and like I because you said that like since Jesus wouldn't pass any like pro-life legislation because like it takes away the point of free will, do you think that the argument would be used to like justify like bad things, like other like bad things like murder or something? Like, and I'm completely like, I don't believe like
you caught me. Yes. So that's a critique of Christianity as a whole, showing an incompatibility with the criminal justice system as a whole, just being disguised and used as an abortion argument, which it does also apply to. But great question. You're right.
Yeah, I mean, I was just asking because I was having this debate with my.
I do appreciate you for coming up. Thank you for your question. Now we got to get back on topic. Okay. All right. Well, I don't know what's going on with this guy, so we're going to go to move on to
faggot. Kill herself.
Okay. All right. Well, I apologize for his use of slurs, y'all. We're just going to act like he doesn't exist. Don't even give him the time of day. Hello, Owen. Do you think that men are better at leading than women?
So I think it's pretty much equal, but men and women are pretty far off.
Well, I do appreciate you for coming up. We are just looking to debate people that do indeed think that men are better at leading than women. We're going to move on to our next guest, Kevin, at this point. Everybody just do give us a minute, y'all. Everybody just do give us a minute. Hey,
Hello?
What's up, Kevin? Do you think that men are better at leading than women?
Hello. I think it really depends. I think men can be, but I think women also can be, depending on.
Okay, I think that we need to like set like ground rules. So like obviously what Kevin was just saying there was that leadership abilities don't have anything to do with you're a man or a woman. You could be a good leader if you're a man or if you're a woman. It's like, okay, the point of this live is for people that like hold to like traditionalist norms that like women are supposed to follow and men are supposed to leave. That is who this live is built for. 110%. So we're going to move on to our next guest. Catherine in the chat says that they're going to follow the rules. This should be interesting. Hello. Do you think that men are better at leading than women?
I do, for biological reasons.
Oh dear God. Wait, can I just try like a paradoxical critique on you?
You can, but let me tell you something first, Dean. Like you, I was a philosophy major back in the day, and I get such joy listening to you debate these cretins. Takes me back to my philosophy club days.
I just want to run like a paradoxical
Do
critique
it.
on you.
I'm ready.
Okay. You're a woman that thinks men are better at leading than women, and I'm a man that thinks men are not better at leading than women. So in accordance with your worldview, right, you'd say for biological distinctions or whatever the reason may be, right, I am in a higher position of authority than you are when it would come to leadership. So what if I engaged with a worldview and told you, because I have dick and balls, and I say men are not better at leading than women, right, you would thereby, by consequent, have more reason to believe me than yourself. I've just always like wondered what someone would say to this. I'm just super curious.
Well, if I understood correctly, I didn't say they were more clever.
Better at leading?
Better at leading because it's just like you started to say back in the caveman days, because they were stronger, they created a society where they're in charge. Or like Nancy Pelosi will say, they've got their boots on our necks. I would further what you propose, and I'd say because men rape and they can incapacitate their victim, they are the leaders.
Holy fuck! Dude, I'm not gonna lie. If I didn't do this every day, I would be puking right now. It's like I'm not gonna lie. Like if I just wasn't like so like immune to crazy people saying crazy shit, and like I just didn't like prepare going on live every day expecting some crazy fucking shit to be said, I would be so like I would be like so just like grossed out and fucking ew.
Well, Dean,
Dude.
I believe
No, but now let's talk about it.
engaging in debate.
So you're saying that a grapist's ability to grape, control, and overpowered makes them a better leader.
Yeah, because today in our more civilized society, though barely by much, men now just need to get a little angry in the business room. And that's been I know anecdotes are nothing, but men will, in a very nuanced way, remind you of their powerful superiority.
Okay,
And
I'm going to ask you a question.
implicit, you're aware of it.
I'm going to ask you a question.
Sure.
You're saying that force, abuse, authority, and immorality are the keen traits that men possess that women don't, that make them better at leading. Who's the most forceful, most immoral, most fucking dictatorial leader that you could think of? Because for me, it's Hitler. Okay? He perfectly embodies the traits in which you were describing equate to being the better leader. So would you say that Hitler is one of the best leaders that this earth has ever seen?
No, I'm not willing to say that. He's abominable.
Right? So
I
we
would
can
choose
now
Trump.
understand how it might be the case that your qualifications yo, everybody tuning back into the stream. It's super good to see you all. So yeah, we got taken down on the main account. It was for like some crazy shit too. It was like gender and sexual violence. It makes sense because she just was like literally praising grape. So I doubt that we'll get that account back. Let's just get some L's in the chat. Very, very, very low chance we get that account back. Let's just be real. Tina, thank you for the hat and the mustache. We have about another hour on live before we do end for the day, y'all. So in the meantime, guys, make sure that we are double tapping away on that phone screen, sharing out this live with a handful of friends, spamming the comments. And we're just going to hop right back into the debates. But the quicker that y'all can engage with the live, the quicker it will send out, and the quicker we will be able to get more people in here for more debates before we end the stream for the day. Sound good to you all? Makes sense to me. All right, we're going to move on to our first guest of the night, Mr. Jack. So everybody, do just give us a moment. Give us 1 moment. Hello, Jack. Do you think that men are better at leading than women?
Okay. First, I want to say that someone brought up a point like
Jack,
4 days
answer the
ago.
question. Quite frankly.
I think it is easier for them.
Okay, so are men better at leading than women or not?
Right now? Okay, it's easier for them.
So does that mean they're better?
Oh, see, not fully, but
boom, perfect. All right, sub 10 second Dean W. All right, we're gonna move on to the next guest. Everybody give us a minute. If you're watching the stream and you do think that men are better at leading than women, make sure to hop in that queue, ladies and gentlemen. Hello, 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 hello. How old are you? Okay, they're like Chuck E. Cheese. They're at Chuck E. Cheese with the fam. Quite frankly, we're gonna move on to our next guest, Emma. We need to go over the ground rules of the live, guys. If you are in the queue, make sure that you do think men are better at leading than women. We are just looking for debates, y'all. Okay. So if that's not you, if you don't think that men are better at leading than women, please do not join the queue. We are just looking for debates. We have another hour in the live. I should have made myself an Americano before hopping back on, but I missed my opportunity. I guess I'll make an Americano when I hop off. Hello, Mr. Petey Peter. Small Peter Peter. Do you think that men are better at leading than women?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, Small Peter Peter. Why is that?
Physical strength.
Oh, dude, no. Name one structure of leadership in any institution anywhere in the world where the hierarchy of leadership is determined purely off of physical strength.
A PE coach.
PE coach. No, they typically hire a PE coach with like the most exhaustive and extensive background within like sports education, and you even have to get a degree for it, right? If it was all about physical strength, they would take the gym bro with no degree over the 150-pound dude with a degree, but they will always take the person with a degree, meaning that you are wrong.
God, Dean, you're so fucking smart, man. You're the smartest person I've ever seen in my life, dude.
Well, then maybe you should blindly follow and believe anything that I say. Today, your lesson that I want to hypnotize you with is women don't suck and men are not better at leading with them. And that is a very harmful stereotype that has been used to oppress women for eons.
All right, you fucking changed me, bro. You got it, bro. Thank you.
Yeah, keep it up, Big Peter. All right. Moving on to our next guest. Moving on. Let's go ahead and see what our next guest has to say, ladies and gentlemen. We got Skylar loading up into the queue. Do remember, we are just looking to debate people that do think men are better at leading than women. Hello, Skylar. Do you think that men are better at leading than women?
No, but I love you. You're awesome.
Yeah, I appreciate you for the love, Skylar. Everybody show Skylar some love. We got our next guest loading in right now. Hello, everybody. Hello. Do you think that men are better at leading than women?
Yes, I do.
And, why would you ever think that? Give me your argument right now.
Well, I think that women act on emotion versus...
I think you act on emotion, Dander. Look at you. You come up into my live with a different name every single day. It's always
Dean,
you.
I'm everywhere. I'm like dog shit. I'm everywhere.
Well, at least you know what you're like, but you're definitely not everywhere. No, you're not in a school, unless it's an elementary school. Definitely no university to get a degree. But maybe I spoke too soon because we really don't know about, the elementary school.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah. Oh. Bye! Moving on to our next guest. Let's go ahead and see what our next guest king has to say. We got our next guest loading up in. For anybody that knows Dander, just know he's in love with me and we're just gonna ignore him. Quite frankly, that's right. All right, everybody, do give us a moment while our next guest is loading up in here. We've had enough of Dander. Hello, Chloe. Do you think that men are better at leading than women? Chloe! Okay. Someone in the chat said X vibes. Even my craziest ex, which by the way, I have a crazy ex that comes to mind. They don't compete with Dander, okay? He wins that competition every single time. No diff. Let's be real. Hello, Ella. Do you think that men are better at leading than women?
No, I accidentally joined. I'm so sorry.
No worries, Ella. We're gonna go and move on to our next guest. Yes, I have never even told you guys the story of the crazy ex. Maybe one of these days I'll go into more Dean lore. We got our next guest loading up in for the 3.6 thousand people in here. Super duper good to see you all. We're having fun. Hello, Cass. Do you think that men are better at leading than women?
Absolutely not, but you're incredible.
I appreciate you, Kaz. You're great. Show some love to Kaz in the chat, and I do apologize for kicking you. I always feel bad, but we are just looking for debates. We need to go over the ground rules of the live for the 3.6 thousand beautiful ladies and gents in here. Okay. Here's how we're going to do it. I want to be confident that anybody that I click on in my guest requests will think men are better at leading than women. I need to know that everyone down there is a misogynist. Undoubtedly. So if that's not you, you could hang out in the chat. You could hang out in the Discord. But you cannot hang out in the guest requests. You can't do it. You can't do it. Dean, the eyeliner picks? What are you guys talking about? Every single one of you. You sound so crazy right now. It's unbelievable. Where did you ever get this from? Don't worry. I forgive you for being crazy. Just don't let it happen again. Okay? And your friends may tell you, but Dean promised the eyeliner picks. Your friends lied to you. Gaslighting isn't real. You're fucking crazy. Bro, this has to be a world record. I gotta get noticed by Guinness or something. Yo, world record for most people gaslighted at once. Yo, let's go, dude. Let's go. Oh my God.
Yo.
Guinness, where can I find you? What's up, Leah? Do you think that men are better at leading than women?
What? Oh no, I'm sorry. I didn't think that was for this. I just
Boom! Moving on to our next guest. We're gonna get our next guest up the box right now, y'all. Remember, I just want to repeat it. Please make sure you are a misogynist that thinks men are better at leading than women. Hi, do you think men are better at leading than women?
I love you.
Oh, I am pretty sure you are a fetus, but I appreciate you so much for the love. We are just looking for some debates. Moving on. You guys, please respect the rules. Respect the rules, please. I just want misogynists. Come on, y'all. Come on. Where are my misogynists at? Where are they at? Hey, Viv, do you think that men are better at leading than women?
I think because they are conditioned.
1 second.
Oh, I don't know what the camera was for. Sorry, I just kicked him out. I just saw the camera come on and it was a red flag. Go ahead.
I said I think because they're like conditioned in a society where like men are seen to be as higher, that they have more opportunities and therefore like not necessarily are better, but more like prepared, unfortunately.
Yeah, I would say, if you want my honest perspective, men are more prepared for leadership, but somehow still worse. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm just looking for people that think men are better at leading than women. If you recognize the existence of the patriarchy, you probably don't think that. We're gonna move on to our next guest, ladies and gentlemen. Give us a minute. Y'all please. We want the misogynists, okay? We want the traditionalists, okay? We want the Christians, okay? And we're just not getting them. We're casting the line out, and it's not reeling back in. Hello? Do you think men are better at leading than women?
Okay, so I just wanted to say that what happened with you and Takesha, and why did you just disconnect me the first time I tried to join?
Okay, well, first of all, her name's not Takesha, her name's Tashika. And second of all, I disconnected you for the same reason I did now. It's because I am so blatantly setting out the boundaries for the live, and I will decline comment. How about that? What's up? Do you think that men are better at leading than women?
No, but I love you, Dean, and I loved your Trump impression.
All right, I appreciate you so much. Thank you. Oh man. Oh, it's hurting. Goda, thank you for the $6 and the 2 cents on PayPal. Manifesting for more trolls to join. Have a good day, Dean. I think you meant that in a positive way because you're a positive person. You're always hanging out, but I do appreciate you. All right, you guys are killing me. Hi, do you think that men are better at leading than women?
I think they used to be. I don't think they are today.
Chloe, you're gonna kill me.
Sorry, Dean.
Yeah, have a good one, Chloe. I appreciate you for coming up. We're gonna move on. Ugh! Hi, do you think that men are better at leading than women? Ave? I could hear you. Okay, whatever. Moving on. Where are our misogynists at? We need them. Hi, do you think that men are better at leading than women?
Yes, I do.
Wow. Okay. Why's that?
So you actually convinced me to vote for Kamala, so I voted for her, but it's just like Trump is the better one. You know what I mean? Like, I love Trump. I'm just kidding. I love you, Dean, so much. Thank you.
I love you too, Nelly. Thank you for coming up. I appreciate that. I do. I appreciate it. I appreciate it, Nelly. Thank you, Nelly. Okay. Ash, thank you for the gold medal. Blair with a $1 on Venmo. Jay, do you think that men are better at leading than women?
In some ways, yes, I do.
Okay, do you think a man would be better at being president than a woman?
Like, I feel like we have more evidence that suggests that men are better than leader.
All right, let's hear it. What's your evidence?
So yeah, I would say majority of the countries that are, ran better are ran by men.
Okay, so just because most leaders are men doesn't mean men are better at leading. Most leaders have also disproportionately been white. Doesn't make white people better at leading. The reason why there hasn't been as many women leaders as men leaders is because it's promoted for men, stigmatized towards women today. And in the last 70 years, it was illegal for women to be in positions of leadership, open a bank account, own property, start a business, etc. They have just historically had less opportunity. So, of course, we would expect a disproportionate amount of men in those fields.
Fair. So do you think men and women, they're both equally as good as leading, or do you think women are better?
I don't think that gender gives us enough information to determine broad generalization of leadership abilities.
Sure. So you think we're both equally as good as leading, right?
I just don't think it's relevant, like, to determine if you're a good or bad leader. So not even equal. It's like, it's not even equal. It's like, it's just not relevant. It's like, do I think that people that wear Adidas are equally as good as leading at people that wear Nikes? Like, I don't know. It doesn't give me enough information.
Sure. And I have a question, right? Because I hear you often say about Trump, like, oh, he said he's going to grab girls by the pussy or some shit like that.
Okay, well, don't say that in reference to a woman's vagina. It's just weird, but God.
Yeah, I'm just quoting somebody.
Yeah, okay, God.
Yeah, so he apologized for that, and he said it like 10 years ago. And my confusion is, if we said the same way that you kind of said a bunch of slurs, and you also apologized for it, and it's something you said when you were young, right? So if you can't forgive Trump for what he said 10 years ago, why should people forgive you?
Yeah, great question. Give me 1 second. I didn't know that he apologized for the Access Hollywood tape. 1 second. Hollywood. Trump apologizes. Access Hollywood. Okay, let's see. So it looks like he. I don't know. Let's listen to a statement together.
I never said I'm a perfect person, nor pretended to be someone that I'm not.
Sorry, that would be Minecraft music. Let me close out of Minecraft. Sorry, you guys. Give me a second. I have actually never heard this. This is a canon moment. Apparently, Trump issued an apology for the Access Hollywood tapes. I'm actually super interested. Let's all listen to them together, you guys.
I've never said I'm a perfect person, nor pretended to be someone that I'm not. I've said and done things I regret, and the words released today on this more than a decade-old video are one of them. Anyone who knows me knows these words don't reflect who I am. I said it, I was wrong, and I apologize. I've traveled the country talking about change for America, but my travels have also changed me. I've spent time with grieving mothers who've lost their children, laid off workers whose jobs have gone to other countries, and people from all walks of life who just want a better future. I have gotten to know the great people of our country, and I've been humbled by the faith they've placed in me. I pledge to be a better man tomorrow and will never, ever let you down. Let's be honest, we're living in the real world. This is nothing more than a distraction from the important issues we're facing today. We are losing our jobs, we're less safe than we were 8 years ago, and Washington is totally broken. Hillary Clinton and her kind have run on...
Stop unmuting my mic, you got an echo.
I've said some foolish things, but there's a big difference between the words and actions of other people. Bill Clinton has actually abused women, and Hillary has bullied, attacked, shamed, and intimidated his victims. We will discuss this more in the coming days. See you at the debate on Sunday.
Okay, first of all, I have to get off soon. I have a dinner with my grandparents. That was the text that I just got. So, wow, okay, holy shit. First of all, for everybody saying that that's AI, that's not AI. That's on Trump's Twitter. Wow. Why have I never heard this before? It's not AI. No, it's on his Twitter. It's very real. Yeah, that's real, you guys. That's so real. The reason why it sounded AI was because he was just reading off of a teleprompter. He had to issue that apology. But you know what? First of all, actually, Jay, obviously, manufacturer outrage, shade from the right. Why should we forgive Dean but not Trump? But I'm actually thankful for you because I had no clue that this video existed. And my mind is honestly blown. I wouldn't expect this out of Trump, even though it was obviously not fucking genuine at all. And he finished it off by attacking Bill Clinton. It is like still, I'll admit, that's crazy. That's crazy. But what I will say, we'll just use his own video to refute him. At the end, he condemns Bill Clinton for quote unquote abusing women, right? It's acting as if that is something that you cannot apologize for, that people cannot forgive you for. Well, he was held civilly liable for doing what? Abusing and raping a woman. Okay, right? And then on top of this, I think that an apology from Donald Trump is important, but it has to come alongside accountability and changing character. Okay, because if those three things are not present in tandem with one another, it doesn't matter.
Bro, why
and that's the issue, because you have an echo.
Okay, my bad. Let me respond to your points though, because you made a lot of points. Am I still echoing?
Yeah, you are, but let me finish making my point. The main point of this is nothing more than the simple fact that it's not just an apology. It's accountability and a change in character. Donald Trump has not exhibited genuine accountability or change in character, or he wouldn't have been asking why people were supporting Kamala Harris, even though she's a woman. There's no accountability and change
was that
in character.
video from 2016?
Yeah, October 7th.
Yeah, so I remember watching that live. So that was after the P tape thing came out. You know, the grabbing by the P word thing came out, and yeah, he didn't apologize. He said, "I've done bad things. I've done bad things." Who accused Bill Clinton of stuff, and he basically like lorded them over Hillary Clinton. So I mean, that's not an apology. Like.
You want to listen to it again?
Who are you? Who are you to decide what's a genuine apology? People could say.
Because we can still see.
Because an apology has the words "I am sorry."
Yeah. Wow. That is true. That is true.
That's what.
Never in that clip, not once during that clip, did he say, "I am sorry for anything that I've done." He said, "I have done bad things in my life." That's not an apology.
Play the video, DM. Play the video back.
Okay. I'm actually, I kind of want to. We'll play back. It's at 1.5 speed.
Person, nor pretended to be someone that I'm not. I've said and done things I regret, and the words released today on this more than a decade-old video are one of them. Anyone who knows me knows these words don't reflect who I am. I said it, I was wrong, and I apologize.
He said it.
Yeah, he did.
He did say it.
Okay. He did say, and I quote, "I apologize." But continue, Matt.
Well, but okay, so he says, "I apologize," but then in an actual apology, do you then blame other people for things that they didn't say? Well, I done bad things, but let's look at Bill Clinton now. See, that's what I don't understand, is that yes, Bill Clinton was not on the ticket. He could have said, well, let's look at Hillary Clinton. Has she done anything in her past that was been accused of like SA or anything? No, right? And so you don't say, "I apologize," and then you go and blame somebody else for similar behavior.
Just something else.
"I apologize." Huh?
And just something else. I just want to ask the chat a quick question.
Oh, sure.
Would anybody in here still be supporting me of after apologizing for my use of slurs when I was younger, I still continue to use slurs? No.
Or Dean,
No.
if you had said, "I apologize," but let's look at this other person who did something, and let me tell you why they're bad. Therefore, moving the burden from what you have done to like somebody else.
Wait,
thank you for the $2.
There's ways.
And Jay, the reason I asked the chat that, and the reason why it's relevant to this conversation, is because the Access Hollywood tapes leaked from the early 2000s is not where Trump's misogyny ended. The most recent example, the most widespread and apparent negative consequences, would be him overturning Roe v. Wade, rescinding the right to get an abortion back to the state, meaning that 65,000 women have not that have been raped have not had access to abortion in the last 3 years. In fact, have been denied services in 10 states. Demeaning Kamala Harris for being a woman, slurring her, the R slur, right? Saying things like the best thing that could ever happen to a woman is pregnancy, or following up after the Access Hollywood tapes when he went on Howard Stern and told him that he walked into the changing rooms of half-naked teenage girls, or before the Access Hollywood tapes in the 90s, right, where he hit on the 10-year-old girl saying he dated her in 10 years. And another consideration, why did he only apologize for the Access Hollywood tapes? Why nothing else that he said about women before the Access Hollywood tapes? Is it maybe because the only thing that was shed light on by Hillary's campaign was the Access Hollywood tapes? And if it was a genuine apology where he wanted to hold himself accountable because he cares, why didn't he do it when he hit on the 10-year-old girl or made the crude remarks about Rosie O'Donnell in the last 8 years? He still calls women names. Go on TrumpWords.org, you'll still see it. The apology is not enough. You also have to see accountability and change in character.
Yeah,
That
change.
is a difference
That's right.
between me and Trump.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So the abortion thing, it's not really.
Don't pivot to the abortion. Just stay more like conceptual. Because you asked me why I should be forgiven but not Trump. It's because I satisfied the criteria to be forgiven. He doesn't.
Yeah, because you believe his apology wasn't genuine, but someone could make the same argument.
No. He only gave the apology. You could argue that it's genuine. Of course, I don't think it's genuine.
Well, what about this?
Even if it
Let's
was to be
say-
genuine, there's no accountability and change in character.
Let's say that today we asked Trump, what did you, or do you still feel the same way about the Access Hollywood tape today as you did in 2016? I would wager that his opinion now has changed, and he would probably say, well, it was locker room talk type of thing. It was boys being boys. It wasn't that big of a deal. He probably would try to write it off because now we have become so normalized through his language use that people really don't really care about the apology anymore, and people are so desensitized to it. So my guess is that if we even brought it up, he probably would say, not that like, oh yes, that was bad. I'm so sorry I ever said that. He would probably try to like move on and say, well, that was just men being men and boys being boys and that kind of stupid shit. So because that's what he does with his past. He just kind of like says, well, it was a different time. It was, this and that and all that. And so I don't think he would actually be genuinely sorry, because you would see the same kind of saying when people would bring it up. That's what I would say about it.
Yeah, but I don't think he insults women like in the way that he did anymore. Like, oh, I'm gonna go grab them by the.
No. Well, he doesn't do it in public, because we have reporting that behind the scenes he was calling a women and specifically VP Harris the R slur. So yes, I would say he probably still does it just behind the scenes.
Rockin'. We could say Dean doesn't say slurs in public, but who knows what he does behind closed doors. We have.
I've made like my position very clear, and I just think it's like super duper simple. There's 3 criteria that I think need to be met for to be forgiven for these things: apology, accountability, and change in character. Donald Trump only satisfies one of those 3 conditions.
And if Dean said something in private to me or to Parker or something, I guarantee you we would hold him to account on it. Like, I guarantee you that fact. Like we would chastise them for it because it would show not a change in behavior. And we have never, and we have never heard anything like that. But again, Trump is a public figure. Trump has publicly apologized, apparently for this stuff, and yet he still does it, right? And I don't care who's doing it. If you apologize for it and you say, I'm going to change my behavior, and then you don't do that, then you should be called out. I don't make an exception for Dean or anybody else.
Yeah.
If we're being honest,
but let's just I just want to simplify it. I just want to make it so fucking simple. And Jay, you haven't addressed this. 3 criteria to be forgiven for bad things that you do. Most of the time, some of the time. Depends on who you're asking. Apology, accountability, and change in character. Those are the 3 criteria that have to be met for like me to forgive someone, and I bet a lot of people in the chat would agree with me. Okay? Donald Trump only satisfies one of those conditions.
Yes.
Donald Trump only satisfies the condition of the apology. It does not satisfy the conditions of accountability and change in character.
Oh, no, he's still there.
I'm still here.
Oh, there you go.
So what's your answer?
Okay, so Yo, this guy's staying so still. Like, blink, breathe. All right, so this is my answer, right? There's two things. I think that, like, when it comes to even Dean saying slurs, I think slurs should be destigmatized, right? I don't even care that he said slurs, right? But
Exactly. Fucking see the fake manufactured bullshit outrage. Yeah, of course. Why is it always the motherfuckers that'll sit here and say shit like that come up onto my dude? It's
Wait, hold
my
on.
God.
I mean, like, let's play this out. Do you really think slurs should be destigmatized? Like, if I was to walk up to somebody, and I would never do this, but if I was to walk up to somebody and say the hard R to a black person, you're saying that should be destigmatized, or that if I would go up to somebody who has disability and I would call them the hard R slur, or not the hard R, but the R slur, that would be okay? Like, have you, like, this tells me that you're not operating like in the real world, because you would never do that.
Can someone look at this account and tell me if he's a white guy? Are you a white guy?
Biracial. My dad's black. My mom's white.
Oh, okay. All right. Sorry. Anyways, I want you to respond to Matt.
Bro, you're allowed to get,
I
like,
think that we
monologues.
could. I think that we could have this conversation about slurs, but I also just want you to respond to the 3 criteria for a genuine, like.
Bro, I've been
apology.
trying, bro, but you've been monologuing, bro. You're monologuing, and then I'm
No. I gave you the 3 criteria, and then you're like, actually, slurs aren't bad. All right, which we also obviously need to talk about. But I just want you to respond to the 3 criteria as well.
Okay, are you gonna let me give my full response, or can I only give like a 1-answer question?
No, me and Matt literally both stopped talking, and we were so silent that you thought we froze, and you didn't give us a response.
No, I thought you froze because like you weren't moving at all. But look, let me give my response. Okay, look. As I was saying before, when it comes to slurs, I think it should be destigmatized. I don't care that you said slurs, right? But I just think you're a little bit inconsistent and you're a little bit unfair because you don't forgive Trump for what he apologized for saying 10 years ago, but you expect everyone to forgive you. I just think that
I'm making it so simple. It's not hypocritical. I'm telling you exactly why it's not hypocritical. 3 criteria to be forgiven: apology, accountability, and change in character. I satisfy all 3 conditions. Donald Trump does not satisfy all 3 conditions. He only satisfies 1. That's the symmetry breaker. That's why it's not hypocritical.
Had Dean not satisfied one of those conditions, then we would not have accepted his apology.
Wait,
it's not that hard.
You gave me some like shitty ass like example of like, what was your example again? I forget what it was, but it was like pretty bad.
Of what?
About why slurs shouldn't be.
No, I want to
Why are
talk
you
about that.
moving on to that?
I want to talk about that, but I want to talk about it after. I want to talk about that, but I want to talk about that after you address your complete idiocy when it comes to this conversation about me being a hypocrite. Thank you for the $10 donation on PayPal. I appreciate you for the love. Thank you so much, Everybody, please show love to A.
I gave you my answer. You're just not satisfied with it.
No, you didn't give me an answer. You just called me a hypocrite. You didn't respond to the symmetry breaker that I provided to you to demonstrate that it's not hypocritical. You ignored it, rejected it, and then called me a hypocrite.
Wait, Dean, it's very, very simple. You said something you regret. I don't know how long, like 6 years ago. You said a slur that you regret 6 years ago. You apologized. No one's holding you account to that.
No. He apologized, and then he also met the 2 other criteria.
Apology, accountability, and change in character. All right, and then also, just to let you know, like, probably a big reason why you didn't see like a larger public outrage was because the accountability and the change in character came a very long time ago. Very long time ago. Okay? Right? It was just public conversations about these things and the public apology and the demonstration to an explicit extent of the change in character and accountability. Okay? Right? But once again, 3 criteria need to be met to be forgiven: apology, change in character, and accountability. Trump satisfies 1, I satisfy 3.
Wait, he satisfied.
Voila.
I told you that what's it called? Trump doesn't go around and say he's gonna like grab them by the peepees anymore. And then,
But he does go around, make fun of Rosie O'Donnell, right? Call Hillary a very ugly woman with an ugly woman face. Say the best thing that could ever happen to a woman is pregnancy. You know what? How about we just keep going? Just give me a second. Let's see what we got.
Everybody, but that has nothing to do with him saying. I think
that is misogyny. That is misogyny. He calls all women nasty. And then, by the way, so the Access Hollywood tapes were in 2005, 2007. He talks about how he just can't hold himself back from kissing women. 2015, he says about Hillary, look at that face. Would anyone vote for that? Can you imagine that? The face of our next president. I mean, she's a woman. Come on, folks, are we serious? 2016, women who seek abortion should be punished to the fullest extent of the law. 2017, it must be a pretty picture you dropping to your knees. Like, dude, the misogyny never ended. There's never any change in character or accountability.
Okay, yeah, if he's saying all those things like today, like in 2015, 2017, then yeah, I guess you're right. He said an apology today.
That it is wrong to do that. That word has heavy negative connotations, and it's a slur. You would never go up to anybody who's Hispanic and call them a slur just right off the bat, right? To destigmatize means that you can openly say it without fear of any type of consequence. And that there is no way that you even believe that, because you would never do that in your real life. Because if you did, you know that you would get a fist to the face.
Wait, hold up. I gotta respond to that. Look. Just because I personally wouldn't do something, it doesn't mean that I think this thing is wrong or this thing is wrong.
Well,
right?
do you think that you should be able to do it?
No, it's not wrong. No, it's not wrong. Therefore, guest, you should do it. It's not wrong because you're saying that like you don't care about it.
That's a logical.
That like I could say it's not wrong to eat a piece of avocado toast, but then never eat a piece of avocado toast.
No, Dean. No, but the difference is though is that he's saying that it's not wrong, and therefore he can eat avocado toast. It's just that he chooses not to because he knows that it's not wrong. But he is saying it should be destigmatized, meaning that people should be allowed to do it. But what I'm saying is in his heart he would never do that because he knows that it's wrong.
Yeah, like what I'm asking you, Jay, is do you think that people should be able to do what Matt described?
Wait, 1 sec. I think.
No, answer the question. Do you think it's like permissible for people to do what Matt described?
You're doing this thing where you monologue and you like want me to give one.
It's not a monologue. Is it permissible for people to do what Matt described?
Wait, I want to respond to what Rockton said.
Fine.
Listen, I could think that being gay should be destigmatized, but me personally, I would never have sex with a gay guy. Just because I personally...
No, that's not the same. Would you ever call a gay man to their face in public or think that other people should call gay men to their face the F slur? Should they be able to openly and proudly say it to a gay man and just openly say, hey, F slur, how are you doing today?
Okay, so just because... Wait, what's the question? Should they be allowed to?
No, not just allowed to. Should there be a destigmatization of that so that I'm walking down the street and if I see a person who is a GAY and I just say, oh, hey, F slur, how you doing? And no one else should bat an eye. You're saying that should be allowed and destigmatized to where we don't even look at the person who said that in any negative connotation. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm saying slurs should be destigmatized. That's my argument.
That's a dumb argument because you yourself would never do that because you know in your heart that is a bad thing to do.
Look, I think being gay should be destigmatized. People shouldn't. It's not wrong to be gay.
Do you think that I could hop in here?
Yeah, hop in.
Phenomenal. Juliet, thank you for the $50 on PayPal for the big bottle of Advil you'll need after this, guess. Thank you so much for the love, Juliet. Let's get at least 500 W Juliets down below in the comment section. I really appreciate you for that. Thank you, Juliet. Thank you so much. Everybody, please show some love to Juliet. What reasons do you have to not slur gay people?
What? What are you talking about?
I thought I was pretty straightforward on my question. Why don't you slur gay people?
Why don't I slur gay people?
Yeah, you heard me.
Because that's just something I don't do.
Yeah, but like why? Like, what are your reasons why you don't do it?
Just personal choice. I just don't want to.
No, I'm asking you why you make that personal choice.
Just because I just don't feel like it.
Okay, why don't you feel like it?
Like you're asking me why I don't say.
Is it because it's wrong? Is that why?
No, wait, you're asking me why I don't use certain words. I don't use certain words because I don't feel like using. I have no problem using them.
But I can articulate to you exactly why I don't use slurs. I'll go to name them all right now. One reason why I don't use slurs is because they have a direct, harmful, negative impact on the person that I'd be using the slur against if it was used against a black person, such as the N-word. And I don't use slurs against white people because it propagates that it is socially permissible to use that term. And when more people use those terms, more systemic racism, right, is accepted, and it completely negates and disrespects how other people use the term against black people, and it negates and disrespects the historical usage of the word that was literally used to propagate dehumanization of an entire race of people that led to them being enslaved, led to them being great, led to them being viewed and treated as property, led to them being viewed and segregated from spaces, having to use different bathrooms, drink from different water fountains, and sit at the back of the bus, right? Something that today leads to them having less societal opportunity, having a lower socioeconomic standing on average, facing challenges that I as a white man can never imagine, right? And the N-word was a part of an intricate system that directly and causally resulted in such consequence. That's why I don't use these words. So why don't you?
Okay, so look, there's two things. If you don't use a word because of the history of it, well, regardless of who says the word, the history is going to remain the same. So I don't know your stance, but so if you think black people should be able to say the N-word, then you'd be contradicting yourself. So I don't know if you think that, but if you do, then you would. And number two, right? I don't use the word because I don't want to, right? That's not a word.
Wait, hold on. Jay, is your dad or mom black?
Dad.
So if a random person just came up to your dad and just was, and every time that they were talking to your dad, they did not use his name, they did not use anything, instead they just used the N-word every single time. And you're saying that you would sit there and be like, you know what? That's totally fine. I got no issue with this white guy sitting there, and every time that he talks to my dad, he uses the hard R. I got no problem with that.
So yeah, let me answer that question, right? I don't think somebody being white magically makes them racist for saying the N-word, right? If someone's going to
bring up the white people only because historically that has been white people saying it.
You are completely and totally like off base. You're saying, oh, I don't think being white magically makes you racist. If you say the N-word. It's saying the N-word as a white person that makes you racist.
Yeah, which is why I brought the white people. They're the ones who...
I think it depends on context and how you use the word.
Hold on. What context is there that I didn't give? I said a random person comes up to your dad, and every single time he's talking to your dad, he doesn't use his name, he doesn't say guy, he doesn't say anything. Instead, he uses the noun, the hard R slur, every single time that he's talking to your dad. This is a random person who you have no idea who it is, and it's in public too. And you're saying that you and everybody else should sit there or stand there and do nothing about it, and in fact, it should be destigmatized so that you and nobody else should have any negative emotions about it.
And then after you answer Matt, I'd like to hop in here just for a second, but go please answer Matt. And Presley, thank you for the $10 donation on Venmo. Go ahead.
Yeah. I'm not saying that anyone, right, regardless of your skin color, if you're gonna go up to somebody and say you N-word or you F-word or you B-word, although B-word is not a slur, right? Of course it would be wrong. I think
that's destigmatizing, so you're agreeing with us.
No, but I think it depends on the content. I think still they should, like if a white person were able to say it in a song, I think they should be able to say it in a song.
That's not destigmatizing though. You said it should be destigmatized, meaning that people out and about could say it. Now you're going back on what you said.
No, for me to say white people should be allowed to say it in a song, that's me trying to destigmatize it. What are you talking about?
No, that's
exactly what it means.
Dean, go ahead. Dean, go ahead.
Thank you. Right. So, Jay, I understand what you're saying. You're saying that white people should be able to use the N-word socially, like black people, outside of directly referring to a black person with the intention of hating them because they're black, right?
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Okay.
And with any slur.
I hear you. There's a lot of issues with this. Do you mind if I explain them to you?
Yeah.
The only reason why black people can say the N-word without being racist is because they are the ones that not just historically have been victimized, dehumanized, turned into slaves and killed, raped, and slaughtered because of the use of the N-word alongside many other things, but still experience the negative impacts that include but are not limited to those I just listed today.
Wait,
like in theory, in theory, if white people felt the same systemic racism throughout all of history, and it was identical to what I just said, and the N-word was used against white people would be able to say the N-word. Okay? But like, obviously, as soon as you gain consciousness at like 7 years old, and you begin to learn history in class, in school, you're like, oh my God, right? No, white people were the ones using it, right? And it was black people that were being victimized by it. And it's like super duper simple. And I'm just trying to explain this in very like simple like, concepts. Maybe like another thought that I have here. You're saying that, well, that's how white people have used it historically to perpetuate racism. But if they're not perpetuating racism today with it, then it's fine. The issues there is that the use of the word still promotes the social permissibility of other white people using the word, and it creates a chamber where when white people use that word to stigmatize and dehumanize black people, it creates a more worse and more negative effect because the other white people around them are led to believe that it's fine to do so to a higher degree, right? And then I just generally think that when a tool is used for so long to hurt people, that tool should be laid to rest. A good example of this would be if there was like an AR used in a school shooting to kill 20 people, we should probably melt the AR and never touch it again, right? No one would ever want to use that AR again. No one should use that AR again. But now imagine that AR was a word, and instead of killing 20 people, it killed hundreds of thousands for over 200 years. Now that word should be burned just like the AR used for a school shooting.
Wait, Dean, the argument that you're making is good, but the only problem with that is that if you think that white people shouldn't be able to say the N-word because of the history of the word, as I said before, regardless of who says the N-word, the history of the word will remain the same. And not all black people are descendants from slavery. So for you to say that black people should be able to say the N-word because this
Well, now
word...
let me ask you one more question.
Yeah, go for it.
So let's talk about the AR school shooting example. I think it's good. It really communicates this message well. What if there was a victim that was harmed by that AR? They were in the school, they got shot, they survived. Would we say that victim would be doing absolutely anything wrong if they pick up that AR and it is still being used by school shooters to this day and they take it out of their hands and they try to do something good with it for a change? If they turn it into a community builder compared to a community destroyer, if they try to use it as a weapon of love, as a symbol of love, brethren and camaraderie, compared to a weapon of mass fucking destruction and systemic oppression.
Yeah,
Like,
so
no.
the AR example actually proves me right. If somebody, what's it called? With the AR thing, right? Anyone should be able to pick up this AR and use it for good and protect people and save people. I wouldn't say only the victim should be able to have access to that.
Hey, Jay, you're completely wrong. Matt, what's going on, buddy? Listen, I'm in between sets, and I've been listening, and this is just so dumb, I had to come up.
You got it, man. You got the mic.
Jay, first and foremost, the N-word was adopted by black people as a way to take the power from the word. But the word is still a tool of our oppressor, which we shall not use, i.e., black people shouldn't be saying the N-word either. It's something that I have done before, but I no longer do. Wait, 1 second. Hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second, Jay. I've done it before, but it's something I don't do anymore because I understand the actual impact. To Dean's point, it's not something that should be used at all because it's so harmful and it's so hurtful. And for you to sit here and say, well, we should destigmatize slurs, that's absolutely insane. That's just like people saying, oh, we shouldn't talk about racism because it'll never go away if we stop talking about it. No, you need to understand the meaning of the word and what impact the word has, and also understand that with using that word, it causes harm. And for you to sit here and say what content or context is someone coming up and saying the N-word to my father, that's absolutely insane. I don't know your dad, but if your dad's a black man, to Matt's point, he's going to hit him right in the mouth. For someone to keep calling you the N-word, your dad's going to hit him right in the mouth.
That's pretty racist. But wait, hold up 1 second.
What's racist?
Let me. You're saying if someone were to say the N-word to a black person, you're telling me that they're aggressive and they're gonna fuck them up.
What I'm telling you with the example that Matt just gave. No. Wait, you just threw a question at me. With the example that Matt gave, if someone came up to your dad and kept calling him by the N-word, not by his name, but just repeatedly N-word, 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 yes, he's going to respond with aggression because it's not only dehumanizing, it's degrading, it's disrespectful, and it's saying that you are lesser than, so I can do whatever I want to you. That's the point.
Okay, can I respond to the point?
Go ahead.
In full? All right. So look, right? I disagree that my dad or black people as a whole are like aggressive wild animals, and if someone says a word they don't like, they're gonna go ballistic and start attacking them. I disagree with that. And number two, you said that when it comes to the N-word, no one should be able to say it, right? So I would agree with that, right? But the problem that we're having is that most people think that black people should be able to say the N-word and white people shouldn't. And the F slur, gay people should be allowed to say it, but non-gay people shouldn't, right? If we're gonna say let's ban slurs entirely, then I respect that because that's a viewpoint that's logically consistent, and I could agree to that.
But also, I just want to say, the one thing that you're missing is that the reason why GAY people, because I'm a member of that community, I'm not GAY, but I am bi, and I had people, and I've had men say the F slur to me, for example, and the reason why they think it's okay to say it is precisely because of the fact that they are trying to reclaim it so that the word loses its potency, because when the group is using it, it doesn't have the same connotation. When a straight person uses it towards me or towards another a GAY individual, what they are doing is they are always intending to use it for harm. There is not a context where someone can say the F slur to somebody and use it in a positive term. It is not possible, right? Whereas a GAY person can say it, and they say it in terms of like comedy and things like that because they are trying to reclaim the word to take away its negative connotation because it doesn't have the same sting. And so that's what you're missing, is that no person outside of the group can say the word without it automatically having a negative connotation.
To Matt's point, that's exactly what happened with the N-word. That's what black people did, and we've moved past that. And we've moved past that. A lot of black people may still use it, but a lot of black people are trying to teach other black people, like, hey, we don't want to use this anymore. That's not who we are. It's being phased out of certain
and by the way,
vocabularies.
I would even argue that GAY people shouldn't say the F slur, right? I would say that they shouldn't say it because the word has been used for so long to dehumanize, to create hate, to, in some cases, lead to the death of these individuals. And I think the word should be just entirely like written off, right? But as a member who's not within that community, I'm not GAY, I do not get a say to be able to decide how they will take the word back. All I can tell you is that they are taking the word back because they want to try to lessen its negative power, because as I said, whenever a straight person says it, there is no connotation that the word can have that is not negative. It is impossible because by definition, the word is a slur.
Wait, hold up. How do you like change the meaning of a word, right? Like you're saying when it comes to like gay people, black people, since gay people, since they're born gay, they're magically able to change this word, but straight people can't. And you're saying with black people, since their skin's black, they can magically change the meaning of that.
Context is key here. As I said, context is key.
That's what I'm saying. Context is key.
No, yes, because a straight person can never say the word, because in the context, a straight person, when they say the F slur, for example, it will always have a negative connotation. Always.
Okay, you give me an example.
Hey, Jay, just to keep it really simple, think of it like this. You don't go here, right? So if you're not a part of that community, you saying it is going to be hurtful, no matter how you think.
Changing your whole view.
No, who's changing the view? I'm telling you, I am literally repeating what Matt is saying from a different. Listen to what I'm saying, Jay.
That's fair.
Matt is trying to explain to you why is it that people that are GAY might actually try to say that or reclaim power, just like I'm trying to explain to you how certain black people said the N-word to reclaim that power. But the point is, if you don't go here, then you don't go here. If you're not a part of that community, then you don't say it. It's always going to be harmful. Now, there are people that feel like they can say it because they're a part of that community. Those people still need to be educated and understand what's the difference between then and now, and how do you do better? That's the point.
I just wanted to add on. I have someone in my Discord saying that, like, I said that black people can't say the N-word some point earlier. I just want to clarify.
No, that was me.
Yeah, I never said that, but I just thought I should like further clarify, because I guess someone thinks that I said that. No, I never said that. They're like now they're accusing me of like lying and stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, no.
I don't remember you ever saying that.
Let me clarify this. This is my personal stance, and I've had this conversation with multiple black people. I have said it before. I don't say it anymore. And I tell other people, you shouldn't say this because blah, blah, blah.